Well, special good night to all our listeners, our viewers here on Caribbean American News Network. We are on live. It is Monday, and you know the deal. Once it is Monday, it is Caribbean American News time. So we're happy to be here with you. We want to welcome all to the platform. Greetings, greetings, friends. Greetings. Good to have you here. How was your day, folks? Let's hoping that you had yourselves a beautiful, beautiful day. So greetings to all. Let me see. Augustine, how are you? Greetings there on our Facebook page. And to Vin, how are you? Welcome, my friends. My friend, welcome. I am not seeing the other folks, the comments as yet. I'm not sure. Facebook is a little slow these days. We're having problems with notification and everything else, but we are here together. Cool vibes, my friend. Enjoy in St. Lucia. And let's go over to our YouTube channel. We have Boss Lady. Pleasant good evening to you, my friend. She's locked in, seated, and ready to go. And we also have Gloriana. Good night to you, Gloriana. And my friend, Sylvia, how are you? Welcome to the platform. Glasgow Plumber, welcome. Molly Mall, welcome. Yes, Glasgow. The Glasgow sounds like you're viewing from St. Vincent and Laurencia Pair, my friend, my good friend, faithful friend. Amen. Xavier, welcome to the platform. Welcome. Boss Lady, yes, saying good night, good evening. Boss Lady is saying good evening over there on our YouTube channel. Jules, how are you? Folks are coming in slowly but nicely. We appreciate you. Yes, my friend. Joanne, how are you? Yes, welcome, folks. Welcome. A lot going on, and we're going to have a discussion tonight. Charles, how are you? Welcome to the platform. May, how are you? Welcome. Yes. Simply the best. We're good. Yes. Yes, my friends, there's a lot going on in the news, and we will be here with you tonight. If you look at my shirt, you will see that I have Caribbean American News logo on it. Hi, Augustine. May, welcome. My friend Doris, welcome. Charles, welcome. What is happening is that I ordered some equipment to start a printing thing here at the studios for my daughter. I wanted to get ambitious and to get into stuff. She loves to draw and everything. She just brought some some drawings and said to me, you got to print these for me. Henry, how are you? Mary, how are you? And so I finally got the machine running, and I decided to try my Caribbean American News logo. As you can see here, the logo is on my shirt, perfectly nice. So we are in business, and I did something. I did also my mouse pad, as you can see, the mouse pad, Caribbean American News mouse pad. So I was just trying products to ensure that, I understand what I'm doing. Yeah, not perfect, folks. All right. So Bastien, how are you, friend? Bastien. Merlin Gill, how are you, my friend? How are you? Greetings. And I just want to say, that I was not going to be here. I was not planning to be here tonight. Hi, Ron. How are you, brother? St. Rose. I was not planning to be here tonight. And, I got a number of calls today. It started from in the morning. And folks are saying to me, yeah, you got to come on. You look like you're not feeling it, anymore. So you got to come on. And it is what it is, but I am here tonight. I'm happy to be here. As I said, it was not my plan to be on the platform for tonight or next week, because there's a lot of stuff that I got to put in place, and I want my mind to be settled in what I do, But we are together, and I know there are many of you who look forward to me coming on a Monday night and a Tuesday night, and I really do not want to disappoint you. And my commitment is that I will be here with you, not followers, but my supporters, those of you who support the platform, who are there with us. I really appreciate you being here. And Alfred, how are you? Yes. And it is what it is. I'm just rambling, but what can I say, folks? Now, I have a few ads that we got to do some promotion here. We have some ads, official ads. Yes. Let's go over to Luxury Inc. Rental. Let's just try to get it up on our system, folks. All right, so the program tonight is sponsored by Logs Rental, car rental there in St. Lucia. For those of you who are looking for car rentals, you might be traveling to St. Lucia for the convention. Here is a beautiful Flabo family, I'm sure. You can go out to Logs Inc., car rental, and the number there is 758-285-2848. Again, for all your car rental needs, there's a large variety of cars, SUVs, small vehicles, large vehicles. You can use this service, especially if you are gearing up for the convention in the next few weeks. Again, the number to call is 758-285-2848, and you must be 25 plus. You must be 25 and over in order to secure your rental at Lux Rental Services there in St. Lucia. And we have another ad that we are putting on tonight. We got this one today, and this is from Pearl's Passion. Pearl's Passion, 100% natural. Telephone number 758-717-0194. This is for all your massage needs, body scrubs, facials, manicures and pedicures, waxing, all natural oils. Everything natural is being used there, and there are many folks with testimonies of this company, Pearl's Passion with a Z. Can't afford to miss getting yourselves pampered. It is 100% natural. Again, the number is 758-717-0194, and please patronize these businesses, our car rental service, and also Paul's Passion with a Z. Passion with a Z. I know St. Lucians are passionate people, and so I say to you, go get yourself pampered, and those of you with 4D, back pains and all kind of joint pains, arthritis, please go over to Pearl's Passion and get yourself the Z back into your bones. All right, so again, that number 758-717-0194. Hi Alexander, good evening to you. Joseph and Ferdinand, special good night to all. Lucy Queen, my friend, is in the house. I can't feel too comfortable unless we have my friend Lucy Queen over there together with Boss Lady and all the others, and Sylvia. Yes. And I see Gloriana right over there. So please share the live, folks, and we are about to get into the business. There is a quote that I want to share with you that I found. I believe most of you would know the face once I get it up there. Hi, Vanessa. And this is, I believe, George Odlum. Please correct me if I am wrong. George Odlum. And I'm going to, very interestingly, I came across this post sometime today. And hi, John, how are you? And I I thought, look, let me just put it up, and I love it. And I'm going to quote. I got to move on my lower thirds in order to get the quote right. So he says here, and I quote, "We cannot resolve the crime problem if we keep eating each other up, party against party. We cannot solve the unemployment problem unless we get the productive talents of the country to come together. These are problems that outstrip the capacity of the United Workers' Party and the St. Lucia Labour Party." So you can read it. Prints are very fine here on my screen, but you can read it in your spare time. And this is from George Odlum. There's a number of problems that need to be solved in our communities, in the society, and it cannot be solved with all the fights. And he says we cannot solve the crime problem if we keep eating each other up, party against party. We cannot serve. And he's right. We cannot take care of these problems in our society. And we would be very selfish, if it is all about us winning, us getting a position somewhere in government. If it's all about that, friends, we are not nation building. And George is right. He is right that there are a number of problems that plagues our society, and we need persons to come together. I know some of you think that Dr. Anthony is going to be on the platform tonight, but that was not the message that we put out there. Just for information sake, but we got to look at the Honorable Kenny Anthony, his leadership, and Viewfort. We must focus on Viewfort. We cannot turn a blind eye on Viewfort. I don't know what you think about it. Hi, Rosemary. I don't know what's your thought, and I would love you to engage me on the platform tonight. I would love you to call in. The lines are always open at 921-586-1821. I'm going to call that number again. That's the number that will get you on the air. 921-586-1821. So we're going to go to Viewfort. And most of us, hi Paul, we just did your ad earlier. You missed it by a second. But we're going to do it again midway in the our program tonight. All right. And so, folks, we cannot turn a blind eye to the situation there in Viewfort. We just cannot do it. And fingers need to be pointed at certain people. Now, before we get to the Honorable Kenny Anthony, who served as Prime Minister there in St. Lucia, I believe from 1997 to 2006, and then in 2011 to 2016. We cannot turn a blind eye on Dr. Kenny Anthony's leadership in St. Lucia. Now, we got to remember, folks, that Kenny Anthony served St. Lucia as the Prime Minister of that country. And as I said to you, between 1997, 2006, 2011, 2016, Dr. Kenny Anthony was the Prime Minister then. All right? For a long while, you have not had, since then, you have not had a United Workers' Party representative there in Viewfort. Not only Kenny Anthony served as Prime Minister of St. Lucia, he also represented the people of Viewfort, And we are going to have a very serious and solemn discussion, one on Viewfort plus Mr. Anthony's leadership. Also, we're going to look at the budget. We're going to touch it for a while, and we're going to look at some stuff there in the budget and we will have a discussion. All right. We have Emmanuel watching from St. Croix. We have St. Croix in the house. Thank you very much. Prisca St. Helen, welcome to the platform. So let's have, and please share as much as you can, folks. Let's have a discussion. And we're going to have a discussion outside of any drama and everything else, because many of us have families in Viewfort. We have families in Viewfort. In Viewfort, you have both SLP and United Workers' Party supporters. It means that in Viewfort, you have people living there. People living there. Are we together? People, remember that. Human beings living in that area. Now, on Sunday, the area, as we know, was declared one of the crime zones, and the police, military, the outside forces went in to Viewfort in order to search and to maintain calm in Viewfort. Let's go over to a clip there from Viewfort, and we will have a discussion. And folks, remember, tonight there is no rules. You can call in at any time. You can speak as long as you want. I need to hear from you. I need you to engage. I need you to engage, my brethren. All right?
It hurts, it hurts. It hurts, it hurts.
All right, so that was Viewfort last weekend. Some people are complaining that there were no announcement made, and I do agree that there is no need for any announcement if you are doing any police work in that area. Again, like we discussed earlier in the past weeks, that with the new bill that is passed, where the Prime Minister can declare an area a crime zone, you will get a lot of people being inconvenienced. A lot of people will be victims of police activities. Some people will be, a lot of poor folks will be inconvenienced. So you will get up expecting to go on your merry way and not be able to do it. And that's what we were speaking about with this new law that was passed in the House some time ago. So people will be inconvenienced. Both the criminals will be uncomfortable, and both citizens who are law-abiding citizens will experience some disruption in their daily activities. Why is that so? Why is that so? You can't blame the police, one. Let's set this up. You cannot blame the police. Why? You see, the police are doing their jobs. The police, they are following the protocols. They are following orders from their ranking officers, police commissioner, and from the government. Yes. The problem here is that Viewfort did not just wake up yesterday and realize that there is a problem in their society, in their community. No. And the good news is that they cannot point to the United Workers' Party with what is going on in Viewfort. Why? Because Viewfort has been represented by the St. Lucia Labour Party, and as I told you, 1997, 2006, 2011, 2016, Mr. Kenny Anthony, represented Viewfort, and he is still representing Viewfort. Therefore, the buck stops with Kenny Anthony. The bucks stop. You as a prime minister could have done more for your community. You did more for Grosile than you did for Viewfort. Yes, you did much more for Grosile than you did for Viewfort. And right now, Viewfort is lacking a number of social intervention, social programs, infrastructure. And if I was the government now, I would put all my attention on building Viewfort. You need more factories. You need more businesses. You need cruise ship business over in Viewfort. You need more commerce, more government businesses over organizations there in Viewfort. Viewfort was basically left for dead by governments. Left for dead. And what we saw, a Prime Minister, Mr. Chasney, having a plan to change the outlook at Viewfort, to develop Viewfort where the citizens of Viewfort would be proud. But what you have was representatives in Viewfort playing politics with the development of Viewfort. They say to the people, oh, Mr. Chasney, the UWP, all they want to do is to embarrass Mr. Anthony by doing things in Viewfort. Look at all the attempts that was made in Viewfort to develop Viewfort, and we can name them. And I want you to look at the opposition from the SLP. Let's be serious tonight. Let's be real tonight. I don't have the energy to mislead anyone. I don't have the energy for games. The buck stopped with the Labour Party when it comes to the development of Viewfort. The buck stopped with the Labour Party based on where Viewfort is presently. So let's look at some of the developments that came under heavy criticism by the then opposition party. One, we have the development of the airport. They campaigned against the development of the airport. They were pulling at straws. They said that there was corruption in the airport. That in itself would have helped in Viewfort, that project. Two, we see the hospital. The hospital was a political tool by the SLP. So they're saying to you, well, the new building, the new hospital, that building is too big for Viewfort. Basically, that's the arguments you are having. Why would you put a box in Viewfort? That box would have taken Viewfort out of I am even losing my thoughts because it is sad. It's very sad what politicians have done to Viewfort. The roadblocks that was set up in the way of progress, while their very representatives stayed quiet most of the times, not rebuking his own colleagues, not champion, not giving aid to the United Workers' Party in the development. So far to say that the honorable member said that we will fight them in the streets, we will fight them everywhere. Said that if they touch St. Jude or they touch whatever it is, that they will do whatever they do over there in Viewfort. While Viewfort is a ghost town. While Viewfort was breathing criminals. Not unbeknown to them. And what you have people coming now to tell you that Viewfort is quiet now. Viewfort is good now. The Prime Minister have won the war on crime. No, you have not won any war on crime. Viewfort right now is under control by military forces, the local police, and outside forces. Viewfort is not controlled by themselves right now. The citizens have no control to go out there and do crime and do anything. So what are we boasting about? That all of a sudden overnight, because two police or you send in most police you have on the island into Viewfort, that Viewfort is okay now? You think about tourists walking through Viewfort with all these military presence. They prefer to go to Baghdad instead. At least they have war tanks. So what are we boasting about? Why are we boasting so fast about quietness in Viewfort? Quietness in Viewfort because there's a new law that was passed and the people are forced to be quiet. You have said to them that they have the right to remain silent. And on Sunday, they had their right to, you took away their rights to be in the streets. So how can we boast and say, and by the way, it is good. The police presence, it's good. I applaud it. I love it. Because we cannot allow criminals to control any street or any community in St. Lucia. It becomes a failed state when that happens. When you have to have military presence to keep the peace in any community, it means that the representative have failed the people. It means that the government have failed the people. So I am trying to figure out at this point, what are we rejoicing over? What are we celebrating now? How long can we have police walking through Viewfort? How long? That's the question. And what we get is Mr. Anthony goes into the house. Nobody points at Viewfort. I would not stand here and allow anyone to talk about Viewfort. People got to talk about Viewfort because you have failed the people of Viewfort. So now you're coming speaking so loudly. Don't talk about Viewfort. Don't talk about Viewfort. Well, Viewfort is not yours. A matter of fact, you need to resign. Viewfort is not yours. Innocent families are losing their lives. How can we? The question is, I am saying to you that the police will not be able to liberate those young men out of the ghetto. The policemen, it is not within them. They are there to keep law and order. What you need is social intervention in Viewfort. You are way behind on that. You have already been breathing criminals in the society. In Viewfort, right under the district rep nose. And you're saying to us we should not speak as spiritual leaders. We should not speak on Viewfort because Mr. Anthony is some holy grail. He failed the people of Viewfort. And there is nothing that anybody else can say to make Mr. Anthony look good based on his representation of Viewfort. I'm not speaking about his character. I'm speaking about his management of Viewfort. How could you have a community where you yourself, you are afraid to walk at nights? Listen to me, people cannot walk in Viewfort at a certain time on the road. They are afraid. And you tell me that you're celebrating because there is peace in Viewfort? What peace is there in Viewfort? You take the police out and tell me what peace is in Viewfort. People are afraid. The courts is the football fields and the baseball or netball or whatever ball, the court, not even organized properly for these children. Galvanized city, basically. Businesses are afraid to open, and now businesses are forcing themselves to stay open now because there is police presence. But who are you going to get walking into some of these stores in Viewfort? So it's a failed community. It is very clear that Viewfort is a failed community. Now let me just give unto Caesar what is Caesar. While Mr. Philip Japere, he was not responsible for where Viewfort is now. Yes, he's trying his best to clean up. But Mr. Anthony needs to be called out. Needs to be called out. When you look at all the prime ministers and the communities that they have represented in the history of St. Lucia, when you look at the Labour Party former prime ministers and present prime ministers, when you look at their district, it's a shame. You look at what John Compton did for the area that he represented. Look at what Mr. Shastney did for the area that he represented. Look carefully, brethren. Don't have nonsense covering your eyes. Wash your eyes and understand what I'm saying. Wash it and understand what I'm saying. But let's talk. People don't like truth anymore. They prefer to tell you a lie. They prefer you to come here and pat Mr. Anthony on the back. Very good job, good job, good job. But you can't do that, truthfully. I can understand party hacks. And by the way, Mr. Prime Minister, I see that you listened to the people of St. Lucia and you have reduced on the gas price. But let's go over. We'll come back to Viewfort. We'll come back to Viewfort because there's a lot that I want to show you on Viewfort. And I am saying to you, friends, we got to call out Dr. Kenny Anthony. We got to call him out as a failure in Viewfort. A failure with an F mark. Look at where we have come to, where persons are waking up on Sunday and going to buy ice and being told, no, this area is declared a disaster area. Basically, you can't go down there until a few hours from now. Why did we allow Viewfort to reach where it is? And look at who is fighting, as I said. Look at who is fighting the development in Viewfort. Right now, Viewfort will never get a cruise ship port. And I said never. We will not see it in our lifetime. Because of the sale of because of the lease of the Castries port. Let's speak the truth. So write that off, Viewfort. You're not going to get any development in a hurry. And by the way, to you people of Viewfort, you are the ones who are also responsible for where you are today. You are the ones who elect your representative. And it's confusing. You are living in fear, but you constantly go to the poll and you vote and you vote and you vote for the very same person. Something is wrong in Viewfort, and I can tell you that. Something is wrong in Viewfort. Look at Viewfort today. Are we proud of Viewfort? No. Who is the representative? Kenny Anthony. How long? Forever. What have he done for Viewfort lately? Talk. In the house boasting about Viewfort. Don't talk about Viewfort. When Bab Kamawado Kapwidife, Uze Sao, what that's going to do for Viewfort? What is that going to do for Viewfort? Somebody's asking for the number. Let me just get the number up. I can't find the number on my screen anymore. But if anyone can actually type in our Caribbean News number on the platform, I would be happy. Let me see if I can get it here. No, that is not it. Bear with me, folks. Let's talk tonight. I'm going to open the lines. Let's have a discussion because it's time for this nonsense to stop. People cannot speak in a society while a community is on lockdown. I'm putting the number right up by my head so everybody can see it. You can't miss it. That's how serious I am tonight. Let's go to Viewfort again, I believe. And I got some videos, some clip from my WhatsApp group on social media. All right? Let's go over there. And we're going to look back at some of those projects that the Labour Party have been complaining about and where they have been complaining about those projects. Only in Viewfort. Only in Viewfort. Huh? All right.
C'est mon qui déchasse par parti famille. Regardez ta Hailey. Chris Viewfort. Water plant. Water chasse. C'est janvier fort. Yo souezi misé. Yon nom bin fan bay kon bay zo klef mi odi ba fan yon bay zo. Moun a ka présenter zo a pour l'année à sous l'année, yo pas jamais vote flambeau. Regardez ça yo fait bay zo. Regardez ça c'est flambeau pas vote bay yo a fait bay. C'est moun qui déchasse par parti fan. Regardez ta Hailey.
So here everybody's asking, my friend Anson, everybody's asking, what have Shastney done? What have Shastney done? Here is a project in Viewfort. My question now is, what have Kenny Anthony done for Viewfort? I mean, that's the pertinent question for the night. In this time and in this moment, we have a call. Caller, you're on the air.
That's the pertinent question. What's that, brother Gato? How you doing, my brother?
I'm not bad at all. You'll have to mute your...
Okay, yeah. Brother Gato, what I want to say, you know, people have to see what's really going on in St. Lucia for sure, you know.
Yeah.
But Gato, you see these things happening in Viewfort right now there. That will not stop, you know. The reason that will not stop, you have to be in Viewfort to see how Viewfort looks. And it's not only Viewfort town alone, you know. Majority of the free men town we have in St. Lucia. Viewfort, Soufre, Castries, there is more to happen. And you have to be on the ground to hear what's going on. There are people in St. Lucia right now. They stay indoors. They don't go nowhere because they don't know what's happening unless they listen to other radio station or other platform. But I'm telling you to be on the ground and listen to the guys. You have to pass by the ghetto. You have to take a drive and listen to the guys. Kenny and Tony have a lot to do with Viewfort, and you have to pay for what's going on there in Viewfort right now. You know, Viewfort is in a mess. I have taken several trips to Viewfort. Even today I was there.
Wow.
And I listened. I was in the main town of Viewfort. And I listened to the people. And they're telling you what's going on there Viewfort. They will never stop. Even there is corrupt police working with them as well. When they have to go on a mission, they call the boys and tell the boys what's going on.
Wow. Wow. That's what the people are saying. That's what the people are saying there, sir. Hello? Caller? Okay, we lost our caller. We just lost. Caller, are you on? Okay, I don't know what happened there, but I believe we lost. Oh, that's me. Caller, you on?
Yes, I'm still on, brother.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. What happened is that my hand, I touched the mute button. But go ahead.
As I was saying, and I understood today that Viewfort will be the next, Soufre will be the next town that things will be happening. Because you know the reason why? The guys are saying that they are frustrating. And what's been happening there, they are frustrating because of no money, no work, nothing. And they said they're tackling all the main towns. And I listened to them guys today, you know. I listened. And I even tried to tell them, listen, that don't make no sense. Just that. They said to me, Brother Cool Vibes, you are not in our shoes. We respect your opinion, but you are not in our shoes. We know what we're feeling. So just to show you, this angriness in the people in St. Lucia now is because it's happening because of the Labour Party win election in St. Lucia and have misled this country. Because when you take a bunch of criminals to be head cornerstones of government and to take leadership, it's a bunch of criminals. So now the criminals they're trying to stop are working to destroy the whole of St. Lucia. And St. Lucia is in a mess. When you walk in, I went to Soufre sometime in last week. And I look at Soufre early morning. That is not the Soufre that I know. Viewfort is not the Viewfort I know. Castle itself is boring. It is absolutely boring. It's like you coming down there, you're just wasting a little time of yours. And the only way this country can get back to normal, to be back on foot, is to call election and for Labour Party to lose that election generally, and then for UWP to come back and put things back in order. That is the reason why they are tackling Shasney like this, because they know that's the only man who has a vision for the country. And I'm being honest, St. Lucian, you'll make a mistake, and now you'll become your own victim in your own country. That's why the blood is showing. Everybody's scared to come out, even in the village in Mikud. I know it's quiet, it's season, but you don't see nobody out.
In Miko?
Well, the way the people is moving, nobody wants to come out. In the morning time, you will see the guys on the road. When you see 4 o'clock, everybody's indoors already. People don't want to come out because everybody's scared. There is no money. There is no job. Nobody have no money. Criminal is out there passing and shooting left, right, and center. It come down now because, Brother Gabriel, let me tell you something. You see, Easter is just around the corner. And this is when things going to be hot by Friday night, Saturday night. You know? And this government has put St. Lucia into a mess where they have a little step program going on, a little freeze, and there's no money. Do you think that could sustain the people in St. Lucia? Do you think so? When there is no job, so these people is only eating Easter time, Christmas time. That's the only time they're eating. And when there is a young man out there who an old-fashioned designer to wear, and they don't have no money, and they're passing by a store, they see, what do you think these guys will do? What do you think they will do? I've been walking on the street and I'm just looking. And I'm saying to myself, is that my country? Compared to the 5 months I was there last year, just on the 6 months return back to St. Lucia to see St. Lucia in that mess. And there is people who are at home, they don't have a job. They wondering every day, what will they do? Sometimes they could have leave their house, go to a friend, but they're still scared. After 6 o'clock, everybody's indoors because of criminal act on the Labour Party, of anti-promises. Brother Gaffin, let me share something with you.
Talk to me.
I don't know how many St. Lucians who listened to Sean Edward last night regarding, them little watchman security that's been working in the schools without uniform, with a proper security firm. He is looking to send all of these guys home and to bring proper security to do the job because he said that they've been breaking into schools and this security, they're not proper trained for gun. But I am aware of a security that working in.
Okay, so we just lost that caller. Let's hope that the caller can call back. For those of you who want to get the line, it is 929 586-1821. Let us engage in a respectable discussion. There's a lot going on in our society, friends, and we cannot play politics with some of these issues. We must not, and that's why I said earlier, in order for us to solve some of these problems, one, we got to acknowledge failure, and we've got to be determined that we got to determine in our hearts that we are not going to make that happen again in another community. And that's why I've been saying to social leaders and political leaders and religious leaders, we got to instruct those persons who are under the sound of our voice. Let them know that when you are engaging in your duty as a citizen of the country, especially when it comes to voting, that you must not vote on chicken and rum. If you continue to vote on chicken and rum and step programs, what you're going to have is what you have in Viewfort today, a failed community. Sad to say, there are a lot of beautiful persons living in Viewfort, Christians who love their country. Is it their fault? No, not all of them. Not all of them. And the others will say, well, I don't believe in voting, and even though I vote or not, nothing is going to happen. And so a lot of persons have given up hope. Two, when they look at some of these political parties, either they're busy fighting themselves, fighting for position, they have power hungry. Some of them want positions in some consulate office somewhere, in some country. They have their eyes on something. They don't have their eyes on the development of the nation. And that is the truth. That's the truth. We have a call coming in. We have the call coming in, friends. Let's answer this call. Caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News Network.
Hey, Pastor Garfield, how are you?
Hey, my friend. Welcome to the platform.
Thank you. I want to share a few of my views on the show tonight.
Okay, you have time. I give you all the time, brother. Go ahead.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
I find it very fascinating how we as a people tend to think, because we tend to have that tendency that if we like someone, they can do no wrong, right?
Yeah.
Pastor Garfield, the issue at hand, it's very dire.
Yeah.
You know, we need to do something, and we need to do something now.
Yep.
We cannot keep, just doing the same thing over and over again. We need something different.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the issue in Viewfort, people tend to only look at Viewfort and think that's where the main issue is. But I'll tell you something. If you look at the entire country, Pastor Garfield, it tells you a lot when you look at the young people, because we tend to not, have the resources to put into developing the youth in terms of getting them engaged into whether it's trades or learning skills to develop themselves.
Yeah.
But we would find money, right?
Yeah.
And I hope you see what's happening.
Yep.
After the fact,
Yeah.
to put into all of those protections when it's not for the people. Because what is happening here for it's already done,
Mm.
And the guys know that the police won't be patrolling forever
No.
there.
No.
They know the RSS will not be there forever.
It's not sustainable.
But you see what is happening. Here we are spending millions of dollars into a temporary fix, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we had a man that was thinking different.
Yeah.
Someone that would rather not be elected, but look at a way to develop a country and its people,
Yeah.
into a different path. Because let's be honest here, man.
Mm-hmm.
From 1997, it hasn't been working, man. It hasn't. Whether people want to agree or disagree, I respect everyone's opinion.
That's right.
You understand?
That's right.
But the fact remains.
That's right.
And here is the fact. As a government, in a small island, because in the big countries, you have water sources that are not run by the municipality.
Yeah.
They are privatized.
Yeah.
Right? But the municipalities have some shares in that water supply, right?
Yep.
Because the taxpayers are paying a lot of tax in order to get fresh water in their homes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But
Yes.
here's a man that came, and you probably know about that, Water and Sewage Authority. It's no more, you know that. It's Wasco now, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
The water was privatized. We let's not pretend like we don't remember that. There was one of the main sector at the time, and it was also privatized, which is the banana industry.
Yeah.
It was privatized also.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am not saying privatizing is always a bad thing. But, Pastor Garfield, don't you think that a small island nation that is lacking of so much resources, you would think that if a well-rounded government and a government that cared for its people and the farmers of the country would protect that industry, right?
Yes.
But listen, in privatizing the banana, the government knew it would make some money. And it would be quick money that they would make. But for how long?
Yeah, this government has always been the Labour Party has always been a quick fix government,
That's where I'm going.
Yeah,
You're catching up quickly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
These men always tend to want things done very fast with no plan.
Mm-hmm.
No plan for the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's a now for now thing.
Yeah.
You they have some guys where they need some money and they're on the street and they wanna do a little quick job on the side, just to get a little something.
Yeah.
A little hustle, right? That's the Labour Party, my friend. That is the Labour Party. Now, again, the same Labour Party under Kenny Anthony administration,
Mm-hmm.
what did he do to all those factories inside Dennery there? I will never forget. My mother worked at Belfast for some time.
Oh, your mom my mom worked there too, and my sister.
Yeah. Listen, man. The tax this guy put on those companies, he knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
He knew what he was doing. They collected money. How many St. Lucians today know how much money these guys collected before all those companies closed down?
Mm-hmm.
We know nothing. And we keep doing the same thing over and over, Brother Garfield. Over and over.
Mm-hmm.
But are we learning?
No.
We're not learning. But the one person that come to do something different, and it was actually working. And maybe people might say, you know what? The guy was too, what's the word? The guy was too bold in terms of how he go about implementing things.
That's right.
But let me tell you, Shastney was bold for one reason. Shastney has been in business for a long time.
That's right.
Okay? And you probably know a little bit about business because I remember you talking about yourself being into the security and all those stuff that you mentioned before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in other words, to be, especially in a small island like ours where you have limited resources, in order to stay in business, Brother Garfield, you have to know a lot of people out there. You have to know how to, move certain things to make it work with what you have.
And you have to have you must have a foreign visa.
And and that too. So having a good relationship with people out there that you can bring in to invest in your country is not a bad thing.
No.
Because all those bigger countries, that's what they do. They get lots of investment in the country. It brings in new money in the country. So that money circulates. And then, the country thrive on that. But if you keep taxing the very people that already don't have, which you claim to love so much because you say it was the poor, that was your campaign for the people, right?
Yeah.
And you taxing those same people all the time thinking that, you tax them on the gas. Right? I should say why. On the gas. Because when you raise the gas, everybody will buy gas cooking, whether it's cooking gas or gas to put in their vehicle, it's the same thing, And you expect to run a country like that? How long can you go, Brother Garfield? How long will that last?
It can't.
We have to be honest, man. Let's call these guys out.
We got to call them out.
We cannot continue. We have to call them out, man.
What I can say to you is also, you cannot be fearless, especially if you know the truth is on your side. You got to be brave. You got to go brave, because a lot of people trying to cover Mr. Anthony, and Mr. Anthony failed the people of Viewfort.
He did.
And there is no spinning. We can see it. Sunday was a good example. While the SOP, they're rejoicing, oh, Viewfort is quiet. It is not quiet. They are under police control. Denry is quiet. Castries is quiet. Funny. Because the people have their freedom to move. No, they're not afraid because of crime.
Exactly. Where is the guy that was talking about the guys on the block that have Netflix? Did he go and give them Netflix on Sunday? The arrogant minister, tourism minister. Did he go and give them Netflix on Sunday so they could stay home and watch Netflix?
I don't think they got hooked up as yet. Those who are living under their mother's house, like he said.
Exactly. He forget about those statements he made. You know what is very, very troubling too? If what's his name? Dr. Kenny Anthony has been in Viewfort, representing Viewfort somewhere around 20 plus years.
I think it's 27 years.
Now, 27?
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, maybe whatever the number is, but 20 plus, yeah? If he were to have a child around the time he started in 97, that child would be around 20. No, you're laughing, but you have to look at the reality, I'm telling you.
You're right.
I am telling you, these guys need to be called out,
Yeah.
That child would be somewhere around 26 years, 27 years today. And I will bet my bottom dollar that Dr. Kenny Anthony would do everything to see that his or her daughter left the island to attend some prestige university somewhere outside of St. Lucia.
Yes.
Whether it's in England, the US,
well, most
Canada,
government, most guys in the cabinet, that's what they do.
Now, I am saying this so that the people of the country can open their eyes and open their ears to hear what is happening. Because here it is, he would do that for his daughter, right? Or his son, right?
Yeah.
But you took a job and you took an oath to do the very same thing for the people. That's why you took the oath.
That's right.
That's why you went into public service. It is to better the lives of the very people you represent, my brother.
Yep. And to secure their communities. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you see, all of these. You see, development comes with everything, and let's not hide away from it. Maybe you in the States, I'm in Canada, but we all face those challenges every day. You will have crime everywhere you go.
That's right.
But the level of crime that we've seen on the island, it is damning, man. And we cannot hide away from that.
It is unacceptable, and it should not be treated as something normal because of the times. It should never be accepted. And St. Lucian should never accept the idea that we have to shut Viewfort down and we got to bring security forces from outside to secure a community in our country. I'm not sure how we can normalize that.
Okay, let me tell you how we'll normalize it. And you might not believe me, but you see, when you politicize things like that, that's what happened to you. Because there was a pandemic where we knew nothing about what was going on. People were dying left, right, and center. And the gentleman by the name of Alan Shastney, Honorable Alan Shastney, wanted to protect and save lives in his country, in the country he represents, because he was prime minister at the time, right?
Yep.
Now that's how you see where you have a good leader, or a great leader, I should say, that is representing the people, because they always say, if you don't have a good leader, or if you don't have a leader, the people perish.
Without vision,
you understand?
The people perish.
Without vision, the people perish. This man saw it fit to protect the people, right? But these guys were the ones who was backing loudly, right? Closing the country, you're closing the country. You wicked, You let in the what was it, the white people roam everywhere, but you have the citizens in lockdown. All this nonsense.
Now, what is happening
about.
What is happening in Viewfort
what is
now?
happening in but my point exactly is we do not even have a pandemic in Viewfort.
We don't. We have a crime
We
pandemic.
don't have exactly. You know, the situation we have in Viewfort, it is created by those same guys.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Garfield, why is it St. Lucians are so hypocritical when it comes to politics? Because why is it over the past 6 years under the 5 years under Alan Shastri administration, there was always a bomb scare? I used to wonder what is going on in St. Lucia. Why we always have a bomb scare? They have to evacuate buildings. There's always something somewhere. You forget that?
Yeah, because anytime you have the peers in power, then the bombers comes out.
You forget that?
Yeah.
Listen, man, the chicken has come to roost now.
Yep.
And now, because they came in without any plan, it is what they're facing today. And I am sorry because, listen, it is sad to watch what Viewfort has become. But I saw Viewfort and I couldn't believe it because Sunday, Shannon Labonmaker had, he was walking around the community.
Yeah, we will be doing that in the next few days. You know, we will be in Viewfort.
Oh, you all will be doing down that.
We will have our camera crew in Viewfort, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It hurt me, man, when I saw the fisheries, the complex there. You know, when I was in school in '95, I used to always go there because my uncle used to be a fisherman. You know, I used to always go there. We used to, when they come, they clean the fish, then you put it on ice, and they have to put it on the back of a pickup to go and sell around the community.
Yeah, we used to do it in Denver.
You know, I am not from Viewfort, but you know, I always used to be down there in the summer on weekends.
Yeah.
You know, and it was something. Viewfort was alive, brother. Viewfort was alive.
I used to be in Viewfort every day because I used to have to feed the banks up there with monies and remove the monies from the area up there.
Okay, so there you are. And Sandy Beach used to be the spot too.
Yeah.
People forget Sandy Beach.
Yep.
That used to be the spot.
Yep.
You know, you'd have tons of people there on the weekends. They used to have all the nice beach parties. You know, families would go there maybe just to have a nice, you know, lunch or, you know, barbecue, something, you know.
Yep.
Always.
Yep.
You see, it is when you sit down, if you just listen to what Dr. Kenny Anthony is saying, you would think Dr. Kenny Anthony was the best thing that happened since sliced bread. Because the man speak in the house and he's so passionate about that. That no, not Viewfort, man. The CCJ thing, the nonsense.
He was excited. Yes, he was excited about that. Yeah.
But why is it he's not excited about Viewfort?
Because it's a failed community, and it failed under his watch.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, but if somebody, you hear what he said in the house, no one will come in Viewfort and do anything in Viewfort under his watch.
Yes, and he threatened Mr. Shastri that if he demolishes whatever it is, what he will do. We remember those things. We're not.
You see the problem we're having in this country.
Yeah,
these men are dangerous men.
And not only that,
they're dangerous.
Not only that, caller, not to cut you across, but these were the same guys who complain about a garbage dump that was moved. They complain about the road, a development, you know, in Viewfort. They complain about the horses. Would not Viewfort be nice? I mean, I don't understand. You have horse activities in your community. You have tourists coming to watch their horse races, and you complain about horse race? The government spend no money.
Are you surprised?
The government spend not $1 on that investment. Roads were built to accommodate the airport. Landfill was removed. And these guys, so he's saying, look, man, leave the landfill where it is. In other words, leave
leave everything the way it is, man.
Leave Viewfort how it is. Don't touch our Viewfort. We love it the way it is.
Yeah.
How can this be, friends?
Let's keep it dilapidated, you know. Let's leave it dilapidated. It speaks volume about who the man is, you know. And we have to mention these things. Because, you see, it's high time we hold those guys. And people say, oh, they're not responsible for this. Of course they're not responsible. Because we're not holding them accountable in the first place.
Yeah, we're not.
If we were holding them accountable, you see, and that is where I have the main problem with those guys with mics in their hands, you know. Because it hurts me that, you know, a man will waste his day, go around with mics, ask people questions, and then come back and repeat the very same thing he showed us on a clip that the guy is saying. Not deliberating on it, not giving us any more, you know, substance in terms of what you know, what we should do or how we should do this, or, you know, you see, when we look at journalists from the US or anywhere else, man, that's not how they operate.
No.
You know,
because you should have had
school outside.
You should have had journalists. You should have had journalists. These television stations, setting up their studios in Viewfort right now on a day-to-day basis, speaking to the people.
Thank you very much.
You can't find them in Viewfort. They're in Castries. They're camped out by Chasney's office to find out
what Chasney have to say.
What he have to say about the Speaker of the House, about Maneuver Ward, about this one. That's what the questions they're asking while Viewfort is on the lockdown.
That should be a big story, you know, to put that government on notice that we will not stand for that nonsense.
That's
that
right.
If you're not protecting Viewfort as a town, how can you protect a country?
But, you know, but just recently, you know, there was an attempt to salvage Dr. Kenny's Anthony legacy. I don't know if you all realize that. Where posters were saying, you know, Mr. Anderson, we have treated Mr. Kenny Anthony so bad as a country. He was one of the good leaders, and he's a lawyer, constitutional lawyer. And look, we have a constitutional crisis in Castries in the House. We also have even our constitutional specialist lawyer, Mr. Anthony, were not able to guide the Speaker of the House. He was not able to do that. Very much. The same way he failed in Viewfort, he failed the Speaker of the House. And I'm saying, I respect the elderly, I respect Mr. Anthony, but I am saying to you tonight that he is a failed representative in Viewfort. Period.
My brother, it is evident. It is in front of us to see. You know, it's our hypocrisy that is preventing us from seeing the truth. Some of us, not all of us, you know. And Brother Garfield, you see, you mentioned something about the media not being in Viewfort. Let me tell you something. There was an incident, no, not an incident, sorry. There was an instance when, what's his name, Spider-Man Tooth was I think that happened before the election. I saw a gentleman running with a microphone, man, and a cameraman running with him. You know, what do you think he was running for? Just to ask Mr. Montoot about something that is not even of importance, you know. But here is a town under siege by some of its own citizens, right?
Yeah.
That are lawless. You know, and we tend to be on the back foot as journalists, some of us, you know, that are journalists in the country. We have to ask our question. If gangs were to come out from some other country, maybe Guatemala, somewhere around there, I'm just saying that out of the blue,
right.
And maybe come to take over our country, maybe they'll be successful, you know. And I will tell you about an incident that happened in Dennery, and you probably heard of it on the prison in Bordelais. You know, There was a gentleman that got arrested. He was a foreign gentleman. And these guys came and got him out of the prison.
Was he a Jamaican?
They were outgunned. No, he wasn't a Jamaican. I think he was Venezuelan.
Oh, yes.
He was,
yes.
You know,
Yep.
the prison officers were outgunned there by those guys. You see, when you play on the minds of the people and you believe you can fool the people, my brother, most of the time you fooling yourself. Because we fooling yourself. Mr. Shashney knew what he was doing. Alan Shashney knew what he was doing. Alan Shashney had a plan. He has a plan. You know, because if you were to develop a community or a city, well, he was going to turn Viewfort into a city. That's what he was going to do. What did you see he tackled first? He tackled the water infrastructure. That is a man that can see past a lot of things. Because if you're going to build a hotel in the place and you don't have sufficient water table, how you can build those hotels? It don't make sense.
Yep.
You understand?
You got to ensure that you have a good water system and electricity system there. That
is the issue we have in Grozile.
And also your sewer system.
In the summertime when there's drought, the trucks have to be carrying water up north, right?
Wait. Is that still happening? I know when I was in St. Lucia years ago, the trucks used to take water to the hotels.
My friend has how many water trucks still? I have a friend of mine that has how many water trucks.
Are you serious? That is still happening?
Those things. But where is the water source, man? Where is it? Where is it? They want to dredge they have to dredge the Roseau Dam. Have they fixed that machine to dredge it? Have they?
They complained it was too expensive for the blade.
Yeah, of course it's too expensive. But spending money that doesn't bring nothing to the country in return is not expensive. They will go on all those trips to bring nothing back.
Let me confirm this. So we are still having major water problems in St. Lucia.
There are certain areas and certain time you will find that problem. It doesn't happen all the time, you know. But you know, in any developing country, if you were to, let's say you were to go and build a housing scheme, what are the first two things they bring in? Electrical and water.
Yeah.
That's the first two things that come in those communities. You know, you cannot be developing and not have an idea of what you're doing. So he improved the water infrastructure in Viewfort. What was he doing? He was building one of the best hospitals ever built in St. Lucia, right? What was the next thing he was doing again? He was increasing on the terminals with a brand new airport. You see, come to think, just stop, man, for a minute and think of it. You're probably older than I am.
You might be surprised. I have a lot of mileage,
I
but
might be surprised. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But anyways, but you've seen a lot of these, I should say. Have you ever seen so many capital projects being undertaken by any government in St. Lucia like that? Any prime minister, any administration, never happened.
That was record.
Never happened.
Yep.
The people were fooled by those guys because they wanted to get in there to get piece of the pie, thinking Shashney was getting money to put in his pocket.
Well, that's the talk of the day now, that he was pocketing.
Listen, man, we shouldn't even mention that nonsense. With all the paper waving, you had all those documents to prove something, and now you need special prosecutor to put somebody away. Think of it, man.
Yeah, man. Once I see the paper and Mr. Shaston takes the money, I call the police, come get him. I have the evidence.
You provide the evidence to the DPP.
Yep.
You provide the evidence to the DPP. The DPP will take care of the rest. You understand? They'll take care of the rest. Because when the DPP roll out the investigation and they see the evidence, you know, they arrest Guy Joseph, they arrest Shashney, they arrest all those that are implicated. But this was a farce, brother. There was nothing there, you know. It's the same way Dr. Anthony told St. Lucians as soon as he came in, he'll put $100 million into the economy. Another fast. In 97 better days. We get a lot of better days in St. Lucia, you know, my brother.
Better days were coming. People were excited.
A lot of better days. I tell you.
And the better days, man. Deja vu.
you know what happened after the better days? Red millibugs start eating everybody and all the bananas in St. Lucia. You know, it is crazy, man. And Brother Gaffel, to close, man. I have to say, you see the path that we heading down, and I say we as citizens, the few that are starting to shout out. We need more people. We need more voices, because you see, as a nation, the more united we are, the stronger we become. And those politicians themselves, they become of no use to us. And I'm talking about the type we have right now. They become of no use. And we need to set an example out of these guys. So another man that is coming into politics in St. Lucia need to think 3 times before they can come in. Because if you're not going to work in our interest, then we don't need you in our politics or in our political.
Caller, that is on both sides, because you need persons
sides.
that love their
Both
country
sides.
enough,
You know,
that they will put away their selfish desires, and they will focus on nation building. We have a bunch of greedy politicians now. If you look at them as my family, my friends, cousins, my neighbor, those are the people they look out for. But when you talk about Viewfort, going into Viewfort and pick Viewfort up and make Viewfort into a place that all can be proud of.
Yeah. No, I said that this is gonna be something that is, very difficult to change. But let me tell you,
it's possible. Huh?
It is true. It is possible.
It's a little late, but it's
you
possible.
You mentioned that the fact that they employ their cousins, their daughters, their sons, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But you have to look at the reality. They're not creating any jobs, so they keep adding jobs on the taxpayers' back. That's why they have to keep taxing the taxpayers, right?
Yeah, the taxpayers had a good run, $70 million.
Instead of creating sustainable jobs. And you see, there is something, I listened to a program earlier on, and someone said something about the STEP program. And I will say something here, and the gentleman was right when in what he said. The STEP program is not the problem. It's the way it's done that's the problem. Because that shouldn't be a STEP program. Brother Gaffel, you see how everywhere, I don't know for New York per se, but I can tell you about, and yes, they all do it, as a matter of fact, because I drove around and I see how the grasses are cut, they plant nice flowers in the summer and all those stuff. You see it around, right? It's supposed to be a city's duty or a town duty but the problem with our country is that we do not have how do you say that? We don't have constituency budgets. Now, because you don't have constituency budget, you find everything have to come from the federal funds, right? To go into those constituencies to take care of it. But I remember, and I don't know if that still happens, but I remember back in 2006, 2007, that the Taiwanese government used to actually fund those constituencies directly. They were putting $1 million in every constituency, and that's US dollars, by the way. They were putting $1 million US in directly into the constituency. It wasn't going to any government institution to go down the chain, where by the time it gets to the constituency, it's already nothing left. but they were putting those, but a lot of mismanagement, a lot of stuff were being misused. But what the funds will be misused. But what I'm saying is, if we were to have those implemented where there were actual maintenance being done around the island in every constituency, instead of having those programs every, maybe like when there is gonna be a major event, because when it's Christmas they do like 2 weeks their program, right?
2 weeks, yeah.
And then the grass grow back again, and then it grows so high you can't even see the corner
grass
again.
Got to wait
and then
for another holiday. Got to wait for another holiday.
holiday.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, so in my humble opinion,
Yes.
if we're doing something, let's allocate funds. Let's find ways to generate funds in terms to go to these things. Because listen, if the country is thriving and if you as a government is bringing in enough business in the country, I am sure businessmen themselves will put money towards those things to beautify the cities, to beautify the towns.
Some of these businesses are so deeply in bed with some of these parties that
that's the problem.
you get nothing done for the development of communities, because I still believe that, like Dennery should have been a little more developed when it comes to having government services being offered there. Imagine just to go down, just to get a passport or something, you got to take a bus, pay money, go to Castries.
It doesn't make sense, brother.
Waste all your time. I mean,
know.
why can't we have government services in some of these outer areas? Dennery.
First thing they'll tell you, the country doesn't make money for that. But here they are wasting a lot of the monies. They're wasting them because the problem we face into, again, I keep saying we're not holding them accountable because you don't know how much is coming in. You don't know how much is leaving. Now, if you as the citizens, these guys are working for you, and you don't know how much money you're making, and you don't know how much money they're spending, then what are we doing, man?
Yeah, we did.
What are we doing?
Yeah, the challenge we have right now is politicians doing the same old thing, trying to get different results. It's clear. You know, same. You look at the budget, very same old budget that Kenny Anthony used and all the other governments use. Nobody's being creative, and I mean, people need to be more. I don't know, think out of the box, man. We need more factories and production zones there in St. Lucia. We don't have enough. You know, we can engage our people.
We can find our manufacturing.
Yes, we got to find means of generating gainful employment to our citizens. It means that there will be more monies for the government. It's more revenues. The more people work, the more they buy. The more I mean, it's less pressure on the government. And even on political parties, because some people depend on their district rep. Sometimes for a little bread, a little school book, a little medical help.
Yeah.
When all these and that's what I'm saying. Anyone who seeks to represent any constituency in St. Lucia, anybody who desire the office of a minister or district rep, I believe we need to push them to be productive, to be more. I'm trying to get the right word, man. I'm a little. My mind is going really far. People just need to start thinking out of the box, and we cannot have the same old politicians.
Be more transparent too. These politicians need to be more transparent.
Listen to me. Politicians will do anything to be transparent. Look, what Mr. Shastney did. I saw a bill, and I was shocked by Mr. Shastney. The bill was that there will be no statute of limitation when it comes to prosecuting government officials. And I will say that was a risk, but it was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing.
The right thing to do. But how do you call him corrupt and Guy corrupt when these guys put things in place that the possibility is there that it can backfire on them and they can be in jail?
Exactly.
So if you're saying
these guys have to be very dumb to actually pass a legislation that will put them in hot water.
I wasn't going to do that. I protected myself, but thank God that you have politicians who look beyond themselves and look beyond their party and try to look in the and that's the failure of politicians in St. Lucia, period. And I think that's the failure of Dr. Anthony, period, in St. Lucia. But we're going to open the lines for anybody who wants to call.
Have a good night.
Man, I appreciate you.
It was nice chatting with you.
Yeah, I really appreciate you. Yes, thank you. All right, folks, so there you have it, our caller. We were there for a long time. Anybody can call. The lines are open, 929-586-1821. All right, 986. So, yes, Viewfort is, and I just got this. Let's go over to something from the government here. The Ministry of, bear with me, the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment invites residents of Viewfort South. Okay, let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Oh, hold a minute. I'm having I just lost my just bear with me. I just lost my feed. Hello, caller, you on the air?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Caribbean American News.
Hey, I was just listening to your last caller.
Talk to me.
And the reality is that your last caller is so uninformed about what's going on in his own country.
Okay, so inform us, brother.
He calls to make all those... Well, yeah. Firstly, Wasco is not a privatized company.
Oh, it is not?
Wasco is still owned 100% by the government of St. Lucia.
Hold a minute. So let me write that down. So you're saying that Wasco is owned by the government of St. Lucia?
Yes, of St. Lucia. Yes, it was never sold. There was suggestions and there was talk of doing it, but it never materialized.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now, secondly, he talked about Dr. Anthony not doing anything for Viewfort and so on, right? Dr. Anthony proposed a administrative building for Viewfort. An administrative building would have seen the fact that people would have been able to do their passports and get all kind of government documents and so on from that administrative building, right? That administrative building would have brought economic development to Viewfort, because you have people working there, you have people traveling from other parts of the South coming to work. They have to eat, they have to drink, and they have to travel, so it create an economic vibe in the area. What happened? The Shasta administration stopped it, right? And in stopping it, the government of St. Lucia had to pay damages to the contractor. Millions of dollars damages had to be paid to the contractor for stopping that project. Right?
All right. So now, yeah, let's just go on. Okay. So sorry about that. So we just dealt with Wasco, not a private company, but it's owned by the government. And now you speak about a complex in Viewfort that was proposed by Kenny Anthony that was not built.
The administrative building.
The administrative building. Right.
It was stopped by the Shasta administration.
So do you know why it was stopped?
And it cost taxpayers because it was a Labour Party's project. That he did not want to see it happen. He didn't want to Dr. Anthony to get the credit for doing it.
So you think that? So let me ask you. So you think Shaston is so childish and petty that he would just stop a good project because
he did that to the falling highway too?
He don't want.
Yes, the falling highway. Hello.
Go ahead.
The government in office right now, before they left office, had negotiated with the Kuwaitis to continue the falling highway all the way to Rosalie, and Shaston stopped it too. So that's the only project he stopped on the Labour Party, And look at the nightmare that we have to go to the north of the island as we speak. It's a nightmare every day because of the traffic situation and the fact that the roads are not wide enough to accommodate the kind of traffic that we have and the kind of people that we have living and the business that is going on up north as we speak.
But something. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but something is bothering me with the first correction that you made with Wasco being owned by the government of St. Lucia. And I would tell you it's a shame. It's a shame that Wasco is owned by the government of St. Lucia, and Wasco is ripping off and giving nasty service to the citizens of that country. If it is owned by the government,
it happen under every government.
Yeah, but if it's owned by the government,
did Chastain improve it? Was there any improvement in the services in Wasco under the United Workers' Party government?
You see, with water, we can't play politics with it.
Right, of course, I agree with that.
Right, we can't. That's a hands-off. Yeah.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that if you are confirming that it's owned by the government, I am saying that I am going to be speaking a lot on this. The government need to ensure that clean and consistent water supply is given to the citizens of St. Lucia, and when you cannot supply them with the water, then you do not bill them.
Well, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you 100%.
So, okay, great.
Now, secondly,
good.
the water project.
But you sound like a Labour Party. You sound like a Labour Party guy. So go ahead.
Yes, I am. So you have different views. You have to get the truth sometimes, or get different perspectives.
Okay,
or people. You can't have people just call your show and say a lot of untruths.
Okay,
and you could verify everything that I said to you. Okay. You could verify everything I said to you. Secondly, the water project that he attributed to Alan Shastney doing in Viewfort is not true. That water project was already negotiated, financed by the Caribbean Development Bank by Dr. Anthony. It was already a done deal. You know, they left office and did not do it, and the administration came in office and they did it. It's the same thing that was done in Delhi.
So what we're saying,
the water project that was.
So that's a good thing then that Mr. Shastney continued a water project.
Continued it, of course.
So that's a positive.
Yes.
So that's a positive, right?
Yes, it's a positive.
So good.
Because it was the interest of the country.
All right.
It was the interest of the
So that's a A. That's an A for.
They also had a water project in Delhi.
So that's an A for.
They also had a water project in Delhi.
So that's an A for Mr. Alan Shastney.
Well, I won't say A for him, but what the government supposed to do? Is there a final project that is a positive project? They're supposed to continue it.
So why are they not continuing the airport? Why are they not continuing the airport and the new hospital in Viewfort?
Because the Labour Party government.
Okay, your call is being. Your call is breaking. You know, your call is breaking. You know, your call is breaking.
What I'm saying to you, instead of having a government borrow almost $1 billion, right, to build an airport, it was wiser to have a PPP arrangement where the government would not have to spend a penny of their money to build the airport. So you leave the economics of the government to positive thing.
But based on what I heard about that airport, but caller, based on what I heard about the airport, is that the deal that the Alan Shastney administration had negotiated would not have placed any burden on the taxpayers of St. Lucia. But your call is breaking up. You want to reconnect? Your call is breaking up. We got to reconnect. Caller, you on the air?
Brother, good night. It's me again one more time.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Let me get this point clear with Shaz. Shazi.
Yeah.
And Shazi need to stop doing this nonsense with himself.
What's his name?
If Wasco is not Shazi, that's him there. If Wasco is not privatized, why when Alan Shastney administration was in government that he did sign a contract with Wasco not to cut no one water, and he signed a contract that he was paying for that. Why when Labour Party win election, they did not go back and sign this contract with Wasco and Lucelec to stop cutting people water?
I want you to do. I want you to repeat that what you just said there, because I'm hearing something and I'm writing.
Yeah. At Shazi, why when UWP was in power, that Alan Shastney did stop Wasco from cutting people water and Lucelec, he signed a contract with them. So tell Shazi, if Wasco wasn't privatized, why Alan Shastney did stop them from doing it? Shazi is not the Prime Minister for Labour Party. Shazi, you need to stop your nonsense. Stop making people believe that they are fool. That is why a lot of people in the chat room say to flush you, Shazi. Listen, Shazi, and do not say a word. They have people that could come for you and answer all your questions, man. Stop making a fool out of yourself. Because you think you own the Labour Party.
You don't stand a chance, Shazi. You are a liar. Everybody knows Wasco is privatized. The whole of St. Lucia know that. How come you say that it's not privatized? It's still owned by the government. And when UWP was in power, he stopped them from cutting people water and loose elect. He signed a contract with them. And when you all win election, you all revoke all this contract.
Oh, wow.
Because you all don't have to say you'll never get no money. Okay. You all know it well.
Wow. So we got to look into that.
Electricity was not. Yes, Charles, you know it well. He's just trying to cover the SLP. That's why he's doing it.
I need someone. But call. I need someone to confirm. I need someone to confirm for me that the water and sewage company is owned by the government.
Listen. If the water authority is owned by the government, actually, he's supposed to go and clear it out again, because I know Wasco did go privatized. It was St. Lucia Water Authority. Now it's Wasco. They changed it to Wasco.
Okay, so I need clarification on that. But I had a bad call there with Shazzy. There was some issues with his call there, but I have another call coming in. But if you want, you can stay a little longer.
Listen. The thing with Shazzy, right? Shazzy, every point that they bring against the Labour Party, what they're doing, Shazzy like to cover too much, and Shazzy knows the way that he's trying to cover for these guys too much, and he in the same bracket as them. Because when you look at what's been happening, look at Viewfort now. Kenny and Tony have been in government for over the past 27 years. Since 1997, they take the leadership, right? 16-1. Who killed the banana industry in St. Lucia? Kenny and Tony. That was the tackle. They had meeting in the Mabuya Valley in Oleon in the time of Tony Torrance, and I will repeat that again, in Oleon, and they said in Paradise Disco, for them to tackle the Labour Party, for them to tackle the banana, and that's what they did. They killed the banana industry. They kill it deadly, right? And now they win back again. They kill St. Lucia. Saji, if you are aware of these things, ask Kenny and Tony if they didn't have meeting in Oleon in time of Tony Torrance. I can tell you, because I was one of Tony Torrance's boys in Oleon. But I never support him. I was supporting Ferdinand Henry. So you think you know too many things, man. Olio did not have no water. Compton was the one who gave the people in Olio water. They was the one who go in the bush and run all the pipes. Olio people was not supposed to be paying no water. Either me could as well. So Shazi, if you know all these things, Shazi, come out clear and say it, because you just playing a part of hypocrite and your name need to be mentioned, man. Because you all labor like to cover up too much. Now UWP is coming out for you to put your name out there. When you all say your nonsense was to put it out. Because we do not go on your shows and call and say anything. Because you all realize why you all have been a failure to the people of St. Lucia. You all have failed them. You all have put St. Lucia in the gutter. Can't you see St. Lucia is drying? St. Lucia dry up. We in Lent season right now. It's going to end soon. St. Lucia have been drying up before that. Let the people breathe, Shazi. Allow St. Lucia to come out and stop talking nonsense for Labour Party. Brother, I feel these people getting people upset. Because Shazi says living in St. Lucia, maybe he don't travel to see what's happening outside the other world out there. Out of St. Lucia to see what's happening. So that we want the same thing for St. Lucia. You understand? You telling me Wasco is not. Of course Wasco is privatized. 1990 when they become a mash of St. Lucia. Who was... Shazi, don't even allow me to talk to you, because if I have to talk to you, you don't have enough word to put in my head, boss. Because you're making people... It is the same thing Labour Party is doing, you know. They like to disrespect you, your intelligence in front of you, you know. And it's the same thing the Prime Minister is doing, the Minister is doing. I was saying something earlier on when I called, and I want you to listen. Sean Edward was saying last night on NBC that the security, like he's the watchman, you call him at school, you know, the local security is working in the school, that they will have to get rid of them to bring proper security that train. So when you get rid of them, these people have been there working for 20-something years. Where would you send them? You will pay them off their time? The same morning, you see how they come in to say they put in people first. So I have been working in a place for 27 years now. And because things been happening in school, it's not to say in the school where it happened, that's where I'm working. So you're going to allow them to go home and bring proper training security. So that's when you put in people first. Shazi, this is your Labour Party techniques you'll have. You're supposed to be ashamed of yourself, man. Allow people to look at so much people you'll victimize. Look at so much people you'll victimize when you'll win election. You know? And you're still not seeing that, and you're telling me things is running in St. Lucia. Where on earth? Where on earth? And all you quote in the name of Jesus Christ, St. Lucia will get better. Your Labour Party, after your blood share so much blood, that's why St. Lucia is paying for what it's paying. And I'm telling you, there are many communities in St. Lucia, if the Labour Party do not call election, that many blood will be sharing, because St. Lucia is going down the drain. It is going down the drain with this Labour Party. And that is what's going on there right now, Brother Garfield.
All right,
and if we don't pray, if we don't take the street and pray for St. Lucia to show this Labour Party how St. Lucia needs help, They will never change. And I'm leaving that with you, my brother.
Okay, my brother. Blessings. Blessings, yeah. Caller, you're on the air. Remember, the number to call is 929-586-1821. We had a bad call there with the other caller. I believe they said his name is Shazzy. We had a bad connection there. Caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News Network.
Hi, good night. I'm calling to make some clarification on the whole WASCO issue.
Okay, thank you very much.
WASCO is partly run by government. I can confirm that to you. I know I don't want to mention my name.
Yep.
WASCO is partly owned by government. WASCO is run by a statutory board. Every 5 years, when there is election, whichever party wins, they bring in their whole management team. So they bring their whole chairman, they bring their whole directors, they bring in their whole managers. That is done every 5 years. Whoever wins the election brings on their own person. I can confirm that with you.
It sounds like something.
Where Shaz is referring.
It sounds like something. It sounds like something similar to Bank of St. Lucia. No?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not privatized. WASCO is not privatized. Government wanted to privatize WASCO, but they had elections, so WASCO was not privatized. WASCO is, honest, I can tell you, WASCO is still partly run by government. That is why WASCO has so much political interference, and WASCO is not moving forward. I can tell you that personally,
right?
Because I know.
So you're confirming that the board is appointed by the government every 5 years,
by whichever political party that comes into power elects their board.
Okay,
that is, and their managers.
Okay, so Shazzy,
the only thing that is not changed is at the bottom. So Shazzy is partly correct.
Partly correct, yeah. Okay, good. So it is not privatized.
He's partly correct. No, it's not privatized. But government is not the one responsible for paying WASCO's staff salary. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I got you.
It's not like, it's not like we like WASCO staff is like government employees. It's not like that.
Okay, good.
But government owns part of WASCO. So that is why there is so much political interference in WASCO.
I got it
and
now.
They bring in their own persons to run WASCO. And when the election is over, whatever happens in St. Lucia. And the building where they were supposed to have the administrative building, that building is now owned by, that area is owned by WASCO. WASCO's office will be at that place right now.
Okay, good. But we got some education tonight, so WASCO is really, but it used to be WASA. Was it WASA before it got to WASCO?
Yes, it was changed. Yes, in 1999.
1999. Okay, caller. I really appreciate the information. Thank you so much, caller. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News Network.
Yes, that's me again. I'm calling you to tell you firstly, tell that last caller, take it easy before he gets a heart attack. I really would not want that to happen to him.
No. That's one of our supporters. So he's not going to get a heart attack.
I know. But you see, those guys need to be able to discuss things in a more, I would say, civil manner. You know what I'm saying? Because I never insulted anybody. And even the caller that I was correcting, I never insulted him. I never called him any names. I never called him. He's a caller that calls Tim Show. He calls a lot of shows of backing the Shasta, and that is right. To back whatever government he wants or to support any politician that he wants. That is right. You know what I'm saying? But you see, we have to be honest, right? Let me be honest with you. I have never supported the United Workers' Party, right? I have never voted for the United Workers' Party. But I will never say that John Compton has done nothing for St. Lucia. I will never say that.
Well, that would be a crime against the state for you to say that.
You see what I'm saying to you? You see, so I'm being honest. So for somebody to call the show, whether you like Dr. Anthony or you do not like him, to say that he has done nothing for St. Lucia is ridiculous.
Well, I'm saying he's a failed representative in Viewfort. Failed.
Well, you could say that.
Would you agree with me? No, but would you agree with me?
I will not agree. No, I will not agree with you, but that's your choice of
So
words.
what is happening? What is happening in Viewfort? What is happening there?
Let us give you, okay. Let us make it. Let us be realistic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Anthony, today we have universal secondary education, and it is because of the Dr. Anthony administration that built enough secondary schools so that we could have universal secondary education. It was Dr. Anthony's administration that built enough primary schools so that we could have stopped the 22 years of a shift system under the United Workers' Party government, right? So there were enough primary schools now so that children do not have to go the day shift and the afternoon shift. So everybody went to school normal.
What I really want to I'm saying about Kenny Anthony and Viewfort. What I really want to understand from you is what the hell is happening in Viewfort.
Let's get there. We're going to get there. Let me tell you something. You have the Viewfort, Labrie, Chozel, Soufre Highway, right? They had called it cost overruns or whatever. They said all those things about it. But the fact is that the people have had it now for a number of years and using it for a number of years. Now, anybody could doubt it and they could say what they want. In the last 25 years, every hotel that has been built in St. Lucia have been built under the Kenyan administration.
Oh, caller, hold. I don't want to flush you tonight, man. I don't want to flush you.
Do your research.
I don't want to flush you. No. But what I'm asking you, right? What I'm asking you, and let's not be too political. What I'm asking you is what is going on in Viewfort?
Crime is a Caribbean situation that is good.
No. Viewfort, not the Caribbean. Caller, Viewfort, not the Caribbean.
I would be the first to tell you that what is going on in St. Lucia is hurting me. As a St. Lucian, yes, we all are upset in the crime situation in St. Lucia.
Viewfort, brother, I'm talking about.
But it is not just Viewfort alone. It's just that.
So you're saying that the government of St. Lucia, hold, caller. You're saying the government of St. Lucia don't know what they're doing. They went into the house. Look, they declare Viewfort. They declare Viewfort as a crime-infested area.
Had a situation that occurred. We had a situation that occurred in Viewfort that was one too many murders. We all know that. We all decry it. You know what I'm saying? But the fact is, this is a situation that is happening nationwide, and it took a number of administration for it to get where it is today. So
but caller, again, I think you are wrong, caller. How can you say it took a lot of administration to get Viewfort where it is when Kenny Anthony represented it for 27 years?
Even though, every 5 years when he represented it under the United Workers government, United Workers Party government, what did they give him? Nothing. They gave him no provisions for his constituency. None of the members of the Labour Party, when they were in opposition, got a penny to do anything in their constituencies. And that's a fact.
But no, I don't. Listen, you would know by now that this is a Shasney-friendly platform. You understand? So yes, when you come here to tell me that my representative, my brother, Mr. Shasney, based on what you said, it's like he's the one responsible for all the ills in St. Lucia when you have a government. The man, listen to me. The man, Mr. Kenny Anthony, he was the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. He also was the district rep of St. Lucia for 27 years.
I give every police station.
What we have today
that have been built in that was built by the Kenny Anthony administration.
Wait a minute. Okay, so he built all these things, and we are at our worst when it's come to crime. At our worst.
I would say that the worst, but it started the 16 murders a year started under Shasney.
Okay, caller.
The first 16 murders, that's the highest ever.
Okay, caller. I will call you. I will call you on this number so that we can have a conversation. But
But that's a fact, my
the
brother.
program
Okay,
is the program is a sponsored program tonight. Yeah.
Okay, before you go,
Yeah.
I want all the so-called supporters of Shasti to ponder on the fact right now the government is owed over $4 million in vaccine money, right? Right? He spent over $48 million in 1 week in a hotel in England.
Listen
right?
to me.
That's
Listen to
not
me.
wasting taxpayers' money.
No, I'll tell you what
That's
is
not
wasting
money that
taxpayers.
could go elsewhere.
Wasting taxpayers' money
We
is
spent-
a
we
prime
made
minister. Hold on.
We paid $42 million to
Wait,
the
sir.
Range Group
Caller.
because of damages.
Caller, wasting taxpayers' money, it is paying your daughter $6,000, and then she says and then he says it is just $6,000. But caller, I gotta go now.
$42 million in damages.
Yeah.
$42 million in damages.
You remember
To the region.
remember which government was named cost overrun? Remember that. We'll talk. Whoa, God. Whoa, brethren. Whoa. That was a call. That was a call. Wow. My Lord. So, brethren, the number is up there, 929-586-1821. Please call. Wow. I got to do an entire show to deal with all what the brother said there. I got to do an entire show to deal with that. Calling you on the Air Caribbean American News Network.
Yes, Garfield.
Yes, sir. You're on the air. Welcome to Caribbean American News. Mute your device.
Yes, Garfield. The caller is talking about wasting taxpayers' money.
Repeat?
Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
I'm saying that the caller is saying wasting taxpayers' money. Wasting taxpayers' money is the ministers or the members of the St. Lucia Liberty that is traveling all over the world, and they are not bringing anything back to St. Lucia. That is wasting taxpayers' money.
Go ahead, caller.
If you go out there on behalf, I'm saying if you go out there on behalf of St. Lucian, to go out there negotiating, to look for stuff to bring back to St. Lucia, what are they bringing back to St. Lucia, to the people of St. Lucia?
Okay. Wow.
That is what we're talking about when we talk about wasting taxpayers' money.
Yeah.
What have the St. Lucia Labour Party brought for the people of St. Lucia when they traveled the world? When they went to Dubai, what they brought back to St. Lucia? I want to know.
Son?
And when I'm talking about crime, the government must be blamed, and the parents must be blamed also when it comes to talking about crime. Because gone are the days when parents used to take charge. When parents used to take charge and send, like when I grew up as a child, it was the whole community raising a child. You don't get that no more. When I was as a child, I couldn't say I was not going to church on a Sunday. Whether I want or not, I had to find myself in church. That had an effect on us. It was able to nurture us to knowing God and to having the Spirit of God instilled in us. But now, you don't get those things. Parents don't send their children to church, period. What do you expect? They only watch bad movies, watch movies with crime, people robbing robbing banks. The media playing all sorts of music that is promoting violence.
Yes, moral decay, spiritual decadence in the society. Don't listen to yourself, caller. Go ahead.
The only time parents send their children to there is like when they're christening the child or they're dedicating the child, and after that the child, they don't send the children to the house of the Lord. All that is affecting us right now. All that is the cause of the crime right now. Teachers cannot even beat them students now. You spread a word, you spoil the child.
But you know, you're right,
Teachers
caller.
cannot even correct students now.
Let me add to that, caller. What we have is a lack of respect, one, for God. The generation has become more godless. You realize that? People have no respect.
Yes, I
for
realize
God.
that.
So that's where I think we should I think we there's a lot that we need to do as adults so that we can be examples to those children. Look at politicians in the house. How can they be examples to our young people? How
and not just the house. This honorable talk is no more honorable.
No, it's no more honorable. You know, it's become the inhabitants of hateful birds. When we should be debating issues, we are debating a man and his family. But remember that it was Kenny Anthony. It wasn't the same Kenny Anthony who said that the campaign, the elections was going to be against the Chasnays. I think I remember that a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Was not he the same brother?
Exactly.
It is not on the issues, but against the Chasnays. I think I heard that. I think I did.
When I grew up as a Garfield, after election, everybody's back together, but it was the St. Lucia Labour Party. That caused, that bring hatred, that divided the people.
Call you there still?
Yes, I'm still there.
Yeah, our phone lines are going crazy. You know, it's buzzing like hell.
Anyway, let me allow somebody else to speak, Gaffy. Let me allow somebody else to
my
speak.
brother. Blessings
but
to you.
As far as I'm concerned, the United Workers Party all the way. When it comes to development, and if we want to see a change in St. Lucia, we need to bring back Shasley into power.
Okay, caller. Respect you. Thank you for calling.
No problem, Garfield.
Blessings. All right, folks, the number to call is 929-586-1821. We'll take calls for the rest of the night. I'm not even going to get into the other stuff we have. Caribbean American News Network. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, good night.
Good night, sir. You're on the air. Welcome.
Yeah, a while ago I heard you mention something about the Prime Minister's daughter getting a $6,000 salary.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Okay, so is it unlawful? Is you see a citizen of St. Lucia, 1, 2, so just because it is the Prime Minister's daughter, she's just entitled to work in St. Lucia? Let's do a scenario.
Let's take it slowly. I appreciate your call. You asked me a question, is it lawful? Yes, it is. But the problem here is that I have been a spectator, in politics for a very long time. And I remember that Mr. Chasney, Mr. Guy, and the UWP leaders were being accused of giving stuff to their families. Was it a crime then? No. Is it a crime now? No. So I am not sure why the UWP cannot speak about his daughter's $6,000 payments, but we could have had a conversation on the air about Mr. Chasney's buildings being rented out to the government. But what we failed to do was to say that Mr. Chasney's wife every year would have a special ball to raise thousands of dollars for the same police officers who voted them out. Was that wrong or right that the Prime Minister's wife would get involved in helping the police officers? But go ahead, call. I'm just asking the questions.
Yeah, okay. You have Chasney's wife, as you mentioned. Her signature appear on all legal documents of the government. 1, conflict of interest. 2, you had ministers of government whose wives were working at their consulate. Conflict of interest. There was no uproar about that, right? There was no uproar about that. I'm not talking about Philip JP and his daughter and Shafni. It's not an issue where you find there is something malicious or anything about that. Mm-hmm. But when the shoe is when you do the right thing the wrong way, it is wrong.
So you would agree that nothing is wrong. You will agree that nothing is wrong with Mr. Philip JP hiring his daughter and paying her
Philip
$6,000.
JP did not hire his daughter. Philip JP did. Let me get that straight.
Let's not be naive, caller. Let's not be naive, man.
Listen. Don't make it straight as if like Philip JP hired his daughter.
Who hired her? That. The government of St. Lucia, right?
She applied for a job.
Who hired her? Was it the government of St. Lucia?
Whether the government of St. Lucia is an employer or not, the fact is, listen. Whether or not she applied for a job and she got the job based on her qualifications and merit.
How do we know that? How do we know that?
But I applied for a job the same way.
You got it?
And I applied for a job the same way, and I got a job based on my qualifications.
Caller, she is hired by the government of St. Lucia. Her father is the prime minister of the country.
That is so far out of the water, Garfield. Because at the end of the day, what you're trying to say that any person within this country cannot be an employee of the government.
No, based on what you guys were saying, it was the appearance of evil under Mr. Chasney's time. But all of a sudden, it is okay now. If Mr. Chasney had only hired his daughter to work at the embassy in Canada, you guys would have drummed him. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, Garfield. One question I want to ask. The St. Lucia Labour Party members was always accusing Alan Chasney and Glenn Joseph of corruption. Mm-hmm. And it's been almost 2 years those guys in court. And neither guy nor Alan Chasney has been taken before the court.
Yeah.
All the time they've been accusing those guys of corruption. Up to a day like today, police never arrest them. They're never taken before the court. Don't you see those SLC guys a bunch of jokers and liars?
Listen to me. You realize what is happening here. Under the United Workers' Party, it's not right. Under the SLP, it is right. And that's why we have no production in our country. That's why here in New York, the embassy is understaffed, but nobody say anything. You just can't get them to answer their phone calls. You can't get no kind of services. But because my party is in power, all of a sudden, all the ills have become right in the society. And we cannot get upset about this type of nonsense in our society. Look at Viewfort. Failed state. Failed community.
Those guys are all kind of things. Guy Joseph, corruption. Alan Chasney, corruption. Up to now, neither of them is taken before the court. Why is taken before the court to find them guilty?
We just use words. Corruption. Just like they use words on me.
Up to now, they are not taken before the court.
We gotta be careful with words. So and that's why the United Workers' Party need to be careful in opposition to what you say, because your own words can be used against you. And we see the very same thing happening with this government.
I got the corruption, I got that from reliable sources. The Prime Minister's nephew was promoted twice in 1 week to take him to the head in the police force.
Yeah, but caller, we welcome all the calls and all the opinions. What can I say? What can I say?
That's it for the
Thank
night.
you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Caribbean American News caller, you on the air. Caribbean American News caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News caller, you're on the air.
Garfield.
Good night, caller, you're on the air.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
You're upsetting my soul. You're upsetting my soul tonight.
How am I upsetting your soul tonight? Go ahead.
Because you see, all persons like Shazzy, that is our forum, our show. Flush him. He would never have all that time on another show. Okay?
Okay, don't get your spirit upset.
MTN, what they do to the UW people, they block us.
Yeah.
Right? They take out our comments.
I don't know Shazzy.
You giving these people too much
Listen to me. I don't know
time.
Shazzy. We have an open
You
call line.
You don't need to know him, but you know the kind of things he spew everywhere, all radio stations. Everybody is sick. Are you watching the comments? Are you watching the comments?
Caller. Again, I am a one-man army. I am a one-man army manning an entire network. So, sometimes we got to hear the other side.
You're upsetting 99% of your viewership.
Okay.
You're upsetting them.
All right. So I'm the one upsetting them. I'm here doing a service. Yeah, but what he did?
He's after Alan Chastity, and he's upset with Alan Chastity, but yet still he's gonna play Michael Chastity.
Oh, you are not Michael Chastity? Okay, so so I'll call him and ask him to go pay the man and then come back and talk. All right.
This is nonsense. He cannot even sew carnival costumes properly. Tell Shazzy make a round and don't call the show.
Okay.
Please,
okay,
give us a
Shazzy.
chance.
Okay, brother Shazzy, you heard the caller. Caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News Network. It's hot tonight in here.
Garfield, how are you? This is Lincoln.
Hey, Dr. Lincoln, welcome to the platform, sir. Thanks for bailing me out. I'm under pressure.
Yeah, a very good day to you. I'm listening to some of these callers, and my God, I hate to say it, I think St. Lucia has a lot of low IQ. I'm so sorry I have to say that, a lot of low IQ people. From I've been listening to this show attentively. I listened to Kenny Anthony in the House of Assembly, playing that psychological thing on the people of Viewfort. All right, telling or begging, saying that the roads in Cedar Heights in Viewfort need to be repaired. The roads from the Wynwood and Leeward Bury to St. Jude's Hospital needs to be done, and saying all these things. This is a man that was the Prime Minister of St. Lucia for 15 long years. And he has represented that community for 27 long years.
27
Why
long
didn't
years.
you do that?
Wow.
Really, stop playing these psychological games on the mind. Stop playing with the minds of the people of Viewfort like that. And you know what kills me? The people buys into that nonsense. He killed the Viewfort docks. Do you know, Garfield, that he killed the Viewfort docks? Over 200 workers lost their jobs on the Viewfort docks when he was in office. And he did nothing at all to save these jobs.
The Viewfort dock,
nothing
right?
at all. The Viewfort dock. Kenny Anthony did not create any jobs in Viewfort. You could say that John Compton brought the Wynwood and Leeward Bury. He brought Winera to Viewfort. He brought the airport to Viewfort. He brought so many factories, Manumatic, so many of them, to Viewfort. Kenny Anthony did not bring any manufacturing jobs. He did not create any jobs at all in Viewfort. Kenny Anthony will go down in history
as the Minister of T-Canal, because that's all he created in Viewfort is T-Canal all over the place that not even a bicycle can maneuver through.
Wow.
He created or facilitated shantytown. He facilitated crime. Do you know that the Kenny Anthony represents these criminals in a court of law, and Jedia Jean-Pierre, I got it from good ground. She would be driving these guys' vehicles. It's so sad, you know. Kenny Anthony has failed the people of Viewfort, and I'm from the constituency of Viewfort. Viewfort is currently a mess.
Yeah.
All right. 4 people died on Independence Day. The government should have taken the initiative from then. I think what's going on in Viewfort, it's a little too late. From Independence Day, they should have taken the initiative and called a state of emergency immediately to give the police the powers that they need, the powers to search and seizure. Instead, what they did, they gave all kinds of constables, the power to just go into everybody's house and search to infringe on the rights of the citizens of St. Lucia. This Labour Party is the worst government ever to govern St. Lucia.
Oh. Wow. So you say there was a lot of T-canals that were built in Viewfort?
Listen, T-canals all over the place. In Shantytown. Not even a bicycle could maneuver through Shantytown. All he did was created. And then all he did was played on the minds of the people of my community by giving them step and night. These jobs are not sustainable. Are not sustainable jobs. You cannot go to a bank and say to the bank manager, can I get a loan? I'm employed with step or night. That bank manager will look at you as if you were a lunatic. You are crazy to come and look for a loan. I'm employed in step and night. These jobs are not sustainable. He did not create. At least when John Compton was there, there were factory jobs. And then that Labour Party again complained that, the factory jobs, were paying the people a little bit of money. We're not paying the people enough. But at least, the salaries were fixed. If they were making $50 a week, they could go to the bank and say, hey, I'm making $50 a week. I need a loan to build a little shack. And then the bank knew where they were going to get the monies from. But with Step and Night, you give the people $100 every 3 months or $100 every month. And these people, I pity them, have to toil in the hot sun, cutting bushes in Mula Chic, Viewfort, all over the place. Like crazy. Really? Then, Kenny Anthony failed to open St. Jude's Hospital. When he was there, he announced several opening dates to open St. Jude's, and he did not open St. Jude's. He lied to the people. His priorities were all wrong. His priorities were all wrong. He built a 4-lane highway called the Promenade in Shantytown. Okay? So he had the money. He keeps saying that he did not have money when he was in office to complete St. Jude's. He had the money. His priorities were absolutely wrong.
Yeah, but I will continue to say that Dr. Anthony, with due respect, failed Viewfort. Viewfort, as I said, it's a failed community right now.
Listen.
It's being managed, controlled right now by police forces, both internal and outside.
Yes, the situation in Viewfort should have never gotten that far.
But one of the callers, I think it's the Shazi brother, said that the Labour Party government is not the only government that is responsible for what is happening in Viewfort. I don't understand that statement, because if you look at the then opposition, they opposed every development in Viewfort: the hospital, the airport, the roads, the removal of the garbage site, the horse racing track, the Wasco building. Everything was opposed in Viewfort. But yet 27 years, a representative is there, and look at the end results. Go ahead.
Pastor Garfield, as soon as they came in, look at what they did. I mean, why play petty politics? As soon as they came in, Shafney was building a modern structure. They call it, I had listened to them. I reside in Brooklyn, New York, and I heard all kinds of things about the new hospital that Shafney was building. They call it a box.
Yeah.
They call it a parking lot. They call it a monstrosity. So I went to St. Lucia recently, and I went to visit the structure. And I saw the structure. The structure could be compared to a hospital anywhere in New York or any part of the United States. It was a modern structure, and it was, climate resistant. And it was built with claddings, and it was wrapped with foam insulation for air condition and everything. Beautiful structure. They rejected that structure. They stopped the airport. Then, the hospital. Then they hired a group of hacks, of the labor hacks, to do an inquiry into the hospital. And then they stopped the airport project. The airport project, which was, a project that was building that was bringing some much needed economic activity to the town of Viewfort. They totally stopped it. All right? And they gave it to, now they are saying that they're going to give it to a company to do it, to construct it, and that they would not have to pay anything. And that company would have to own, that company would own the airport and get all the revenues for 30 years. Does that make sense? When all the money was already secured by the UWP. Really, this is the worst government ever to govern St. Lucia. Worst of the worst. Crime is totally, how could anyone in their right mind, Garfield, say that this government is doing good? I just don't get it. When crime is totally out of control, our roads are in a deplorable condition. A deplorable condition. Look at the Millennium Highway. Their road is so bad. All right? Our healthcare system is a disaster. I have my sister's son got burnt in St. Lucia.
Wow.
And they went to the airport. They went to Victoria Hospital. The hospital, it is so sad. They don't even have sheets to cover the beds. I'm telling you, it's the honest truth. They do not even have sheets to cover the bed. They do not have blood tubes to draw blood. They had to go to a private institution to draw the blood for the child. It is so sad what's going on in St. Lucia. And people want to come and boast that this Labour Party is doing well. This Labour Party is horrible. We must get them out. They have wrecked our country in less than 2 years. And it's sad. It's killing me.
Wow.
And I applaud you, Garfield. Continue doing what you are doing.
Yeah. Thank you, Lincoln. Thank you so much.
And I don't want to keep you too long. I'll exit and so another caller could call.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And I thank you for the platform.
Thank
problem. You so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Folks, the number to call is 929-586-181. We'll take some more calls. My eyes just went on the screen and I saw someone says about donkeys that came from Montserrat. And right away, it reminded me of an old Calypso song. Let's see if we can find that song. Remember when they brought in the host of the... I was in St. Lucia, my stepfather. I know he was talking about it all the time. He was upset about the donkeys that came to town. Let's see if we can... let's see if we can get a song on the donkeys. Sing along with the chorus, you know it. I want you to sing with it. I'm sure by now, all you have the
tax. I set a donkey, rich chef from Montserrat. The Animal Society candidly say bring them donkey here as refugee. In St. Lucia, Jackass living comfortable, so them donkeys should be quite acceptable. Well, I really didn't know where they get that score, but it's Larry who told me a little more. He said so much, and you're bringing more donkey in town. Like St. Lucia is the grazing ground, and they bring them to meet their companions. So much
Jackass in town,
and you're bringing
more donkeys in town.
Slaps have the right perception for me. Road rage killing me here in this country. So much
Jackass in town,
can't hear you.
more donkeys in town.
Whole thing out of control, and especially with banana industry. Yet we want the EU to control. But like we have more problems than we do to bring down so many in one go. Yes, I do. Slap said it was 30 for the Chamber of Commerce and each ministry. So much jackass around, and you're bringing more donkey in town. I hear we starting a new party. Up to now, Martinus can't say who is we. So much
jackass around,
and you're bringing
more donkeys in town.
I hear.
You see, you all like too much carrying on, so let's get back to the show. Is there anybody else who need to call? Number 9, it is 929-586-182. And I remember that old song while I was in St. Lucia, my stepfather. He was just something else. We remember when they brought those things over from Montserrat, eh? But folks, we had a beautiful show tonight. I had a lot of stuff set up for you. Let's go to this clip. I have a clip here. Let's go to the clip before we leave.
Yonakoi, multiple center Blanchard. Chas Niki Fay. You just fini. Jean Blanchard Haï Boutouille. Yonakoi, multiple center Blanchard. Chas Niki Fay. You just fini.
So the thing is, lest we forget, sometimes we forget what our past leaders have done. If we had some buildings like these in Viewfort by now, Viewfort would have been in a better place, I'm sure. But for a place to be looking like a ghost town, undeveloped, like now becomes the wild, wild west, and we celebrate and say, oh yeah, the Prime Minister won the war on crime in Viewfort. No, there is no winning of crime in Viewfort. There is still an ongoing challenge in Viewfort, and the challenge is not really about knives and guns. The challenge is about the minds of the people, representation, frustration, jobs for the people. Huh? Caller, you're on the air. This might be my last caller though, but my favorite caller. Bonsoir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome. Good
How
evening.
are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. I had a lot of calls tonight that,
Very good. I missed part of Shazi's contribution tonight, but I want to ask Shazi a question. Shazi, I want you to ask St. Lucians, how many of us are better off today than we were a few years ago under a different administration? Because I heard Shazi talk some crap. Shazi will not speak about the 5% increase by Digicel, by Lime, The increases in food every week because nobody's checking to see what's going on. We have no price control anymore in St. Lucia. Shazzy is not speaking about all the government offices that are being closed. We don't even know, temporary closed for 2 days, closed for 2 days, closed for a week, closed for this, closed for that. Shazzy is not speaking of the hardship that St. Lucians are facing today, but Shazzy is coming and making up excuses as usual because he's one of the political pundits who getting favors from his government. This is enough, Shazzy. Enough is enough. And I'm happy that the gentleman called back and said what he said, because Shazzy will find all excuses in the book to pardon his wonderful government. We are squeezing in St. Lucia. Nothing is happening that's good for a St. Lucian apart from political pundits of the SLP. And then you want to come and call this show and make your noise, Shazzy, and then say that's a fact. Shazzy, your facts are distorted. You need to grow up. You need to wake up to the reality of what's on the ground. But, like I say, the power is in the finger of the people. It's in our fingers, and the voices are going to be heard. So you had a political pundit call you tonight, Brother Garfield.
Oh, that is
what did
Shazzy?
You think?
Shazzy?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Keeping his noise. He didn't insult anybody. He didn't this. He didn't that. You call a show and you're always angry. I wonder why the anger if your government is doing so well. You know, these are the questions that we need to ask these people. Why are you so upset?
Convention.
Why are you so upset with us?
Convention.
Why are you so upset with us? Because of convention? No. You're upset with us because you are getting political favors while the rest of us are catching our butts. You're upset with us because we're upset with your government. If we all were Shazzies, I bet we all would be singing the same tune, but we're not. We're not all blessed to make $6,000 from the CIP office because we're the daughter of the Prime Minister. We're not all blessed like the political pundits in St. Lucia. Friends, family, and I say fam. FFF. These are the people that are getting the favors here in St. Lucia. These are the people jobs are being created for. How many of us are? What's the unemployment rate, Shazzy? Can you answer that question? And I hope you're still listening. How do people pay 5%, 10% increase in telecoms bills when they're not making any more money and more people are unemployed? How do we pay for increases in food every week? It was the war in Ukraine. I guess it's the gas that we're importing, the flour and the wheat and the sugar we're importing from Ukraine. We importing telecoms from Ukraine too. We importing tomatoes from Ukraine and potatoes too. Are we importing food from Ukraine?
Everything is going up.
If it was gas prices and the shipping cost was high, shipping cost has gone down. The price of gas has fallen on the world market, and Philip J. Pierre comes to insult us and say he's giving us 50 cents, a further 50 cents off. Philip J. Pierre, 50 cents, not even buying us a loaf of bread. Listen, I'm just sick of St. Lucia, and I watch these people. You've made how much money have you made, Philip J. Pierre, on the backs of the poor people in St. Lucia to say that you're meeting your quota by increasing so many things. You've collected so much in taxes. Taxes. Because you run a country based on taxes collected. We're not a tax country. We only have 180,000 people in St. Lucia, some of which are not employed because they're children. So how can you tax people to run your country? Where are the projects? Where are the projects? You selling out our ports, you selling out this, you selling out PPP, our airport for us to pay how much more money in PPP when a loan was already organized and the airport would have been a larger airport and all the rest of it. And then you come in and tell me the PPP is the way to go when we're going to end up paying more monies back, losing more money. It's interesting, the thinking of these people. It is interesting that people are so blindsided that they have joined so much the red devils that they can't see clearly what is right in front of their very eyes. And I call solutions on solutions again. Wake up. Wake up. Look at what the budget is funding. They increase the budget for carnival. They increased the budget for jazz. The government increased its fets, parties. They're increasing budgets for, but the poor people, they will not say, let's try to keep the food prices down. Let's try to give the people back the gas prices at $13, $14, and $14 is even too much. It should really be about $12 or $10, $11 per gallon. Yeah. Let's try to take this down. Let's try to bring the cooking gas almost back to almost the normal price. Let's just try to make the people breathe a little bit in St. Lucia. But they're busy taxing us to fund what? Parties. To fund what? Parties. Parties that we may not even be able to go enjoy because it might be, the prices might be sky high and we won't be able to afford tickets. This is insane. Solutions, did you even listen to? I know the budget was annoying for people to listen to those figures and where those monies were allocated to, but you need to listen. Because when you listen, you will learn exactly what this government is doing to people. And then for you to come and make up excuses, Kenny Anthony did this and Kenny Anthony did that. What has Kenny Anthony done for Viewfort in his, 27 years? We should talk about his constituency. What did Philip J. Pierre do for his constituency in how many years? What did he do? And you'll expect these people to run 17 constituencies and manage people? What development has come to St. Lucia since the SLP government came into office? What have they brought to the table? At least we saw tangible things happening from Alan Chasney, who went and begged for the money to get it done. The SLP did not leave the money there for him to do it. A new airport, a new hospital, the water project in Viewfort. And he can say Kenny planned it. Kenny could have planned all he wanted. But did he execute? He never executed. We had the roads being fixed. So people don't hit roads. You want to talk about the 4 lanes and the QATs. We had local contractors, and I wanted to touch this. I didn't hear his whole contribution. We had local contractors working on our roads in St. Lucia. The money was staying right here in St. Lucia to help boost our economy. And you want to talk about QATs coming in to do our roads? Where does that money go? It stays in St. Lucia, Shazi? Oh, the Kuwaitis will only be too happy to take the money and leave and go back to Kuwait. And if I'm not making sense, Brother Garfield, you need to tell me.
No. I'm here with you. I'm here with you.
Somebody needs to tell me if I'm not making sense. We had local contractors doing all our work on the ground, with the exception of, and may I say this because we're talking truth, the Taiwanese who came in through the Exim Bank to do the piling and to teach our local contractors how to do it. Apart from those, that group of Taiwanese, all the contractors at the airport were local people. Everybody working on our roads were local people. The money was staying in St. Lucia. But SLP is quick to go to Kuwait and quick to go to Trinidad and quick to go here and quick to go there and take foreign everybody and bring them to St. Lucia. And you want to point a finger at Chasney and say foreigners? Who's bringing in foreigners to do the major works in St. Lucia? Was it Chasney? Is it Chasney? Boy, St. Lucians don't know what they had, and they let it go. St. Lucians do not know. I hope St. Lucians are seeing what they had and they let it go. Because now St. Lucia is moving backwards rather than forward. In other words, we do Verdeye. Do Verdeye, not do Versum. We do Verdeye.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that I will bring back those flags that were hung, put up on the waterfront that were put sideways and the flags were not flying the right way. Not even that they could have gotten right.
Oh.
Not even that. That was embarrassing and a shame for we as St. Lucians. And was that a mistake? I cannot understand why people would justify the garbage that's going on here in St. Lucia.
Yeah, I guess the atmosphere is just, it's very political and people are just seeing politics. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Brother Garfield, the atmosphere can be political. I do not have. People can support whichever party they choose to support. It is up to them. However, we cannot justify blindly the garbage that is being done here on island presently.
But the caller also,
I think, justify that.
I think it was Shazi who spoke about all the projects that were stopped on the Alan Shasti and caused the government, the complex in Viewfort that was stopped by Alan Shastney and it caused the taxpayers millions of dollars. But we have a number of projects, the airports, the Grozile Highway and other projects that were stopped.
Just like a complex.
The hospital.
That complex being stopped, he better come out with the truth because tomorrow I will enlighten all of St. Lucia as to why that project was stopped. I will not do it tonight.
Good.
Let St. Lucians go and do some homework as to why.
You can do it. You can come on tomorrow, God's willing. I'm in a good mood tonight to come on tomorrow, God's willing. So you can come on because I plan to follow up. What I plan to do is to follow up on some of the arguments of our labor callers. And the reason why I encourage these calls is that, you can't be talking to yourself or arguing among yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I am happy. I'm going to look at it. Somebody already clarified the Wasco situation. I was very happy for that. And so I'm going to look into that building, that project that was stopped in view for the administrative building there.
And that you should, because then you'll understand why it was stopped. An administrative building to move the same offices that are already in Viewfort, that already have the employees, right into one administrative building. What new jobs was it going to create, Chazzy? How many new jobs were created through ITEL BPO and the other call center? He can't say, can he? And who got employment? The young people. And how much money were they making? Are they making monthly? He can't say because they just cannot admit the truth.
Because I want to know more about.
They just
I want to
cannot
know more.
Admit.
I want to know more about the, because when people make accusations, we got to come out and get the truth. And like the lady said, he was speaking the truth on the Wasco. Well, he was not quite there, but basically he was right. So I want to know for sure on the administrative building, and I'm sure that Mr. Alan Shaston is not a madman where he just stopped something because he's malicious. I wouldn't believe that.
I hope St. Lucians realize that all the work done in Ancillary on the waterfront, all the work done in Micoud with reference to the preschool, etc., the water catchment area for Viewfort to increase water capacity, the brand new large airport, all the other Caribbean islands are moving to building bigger and better airports. The port development that was going to happen in Viewfort, the road works that took place in all the outer districts, etc., because the same 4 lanes that they came and stopped because they still want the QATs to do it. I wonder why the QATs are not a local contractor who was already doing it at a fixed cost, whether the price of sand had gone up or cement or whatever had gone up. It would have been at a fixed cost.
It's going to cost even more now.
Now it is going to cost an arm and 2 legs and a whole body and a head
and the whole of
2 feet and 2 hands.
The whole of Viewfort too.
And the whole of Viewfort. You understand?
Yeah.
And then you want to justify stopping those projects? What justification have you got for that?
The smart thing about the Alan Shaston administration, I would tell you, and I'm not saying the Labour Party folks have not been smart in any projects in St. Lucia, but the smart thing about the projects that took place during the COVID-19 crisis, I think it was tremendous because at that time you would expect that the price of goods will increase in the future. So therefore you do as much of your projects at that point, even when the roads are free. It's not going to inconvenience a lot of people. You take opportunity. You know what I saw in New York? Because I was considered a essential worker. I saw in New York, the streets were empty. I saw the government in New York. These guys started taking up all old pipes under the roads. These guys went crazy on infrastructure in Brooklyn. I saw it with my own eyes. And I looked at Mr. Shaston and I said, brilliant.
Time to do it.
Yes, I looked at Mr. Shaston and what he was doing. I said, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing.
Not only was it improving development in the country and our infrastructure, but it was creating jobs for thousands of persons.
So you were keeping the construction industry moving.
There was fixed cost on all of these projects that even if the price of any steel went up, BRC went up, cement went up, that those projects were going to stay at the same cost
price,
and they
already
were
locked
local
in.
Contractors.
Yep.
The money was staying right here in St. Lucia and not leaving our shores. And that is why he was able to grow the economy by 12.4 or 12.5.
And that's why we can boast today. Also, we can boast today that, because I heard the guys boast that we didn't have to borrow money. That's early in the game. Why? Because, you were left something there, innit? That's why.
There was money there. When Kenny left, there was nothing left for Chasney to move a stone.
Yeah.
He couldn't buy a pin. There was no money left. St. Lucia was in, I should say we were bankrupt because something happened in St. Lucia. He don't know what they asked him to go and get our financial house in order Kenny Anthony.
What I'm saying, after you
When
serve so
Shasta
long,
came in, there
why
was
would your
no money. He
financial...
had to go and beg and look and see where he could get monies to do the projects and be innovative and implement certain things in St. Lucia to grow our economy and to move us forward from the dark ages to brighter days.
But why would your financial house not be in order and you're such an expert and all the experts on your side, but yet you could not have gotten monies from any organization? None.
Any organization?
In other words, what they do, they shut the doors on you and say to you, you go fix up your country, go deal with your financial situation in the country. In other words, go fire some people. You know?
Exactly. And whilst they at it, saying that Chastity left, there was no logbox, no box to be found, there was no money there, there was no money there. Was he supposed to leave money for Philip J. Pierre?
Wow.
Was he supposed to be the one to leave monies, and he did?
He did a lot of money.
Was he to leave monies for Philip J. Pierre? Look at how many projects were not completed. And instead of SLP saying, you know what, let us continue those projects, the housing projects, the road project, the airport, the hospital. Let us continue those projects because thousands of St. Lucians are employed. We'll be creating a new housing stock. We'll be giving people the same roads we don't eat that are eating our cars and our monies today. Keep people employed.
Let me just say, somebody just sent...
No, they did not.
Yeah, let me just say something to the audience. Somebody just sent, I believe, 50 stars. Thank you very much. Those of you who love the program and you want to support it, please just use the stars. 200 stars is, I think, $1 or $2. I'm not sure. All right. But those of you who...
Fabulous.
Yes, folks. Who sent the stars? I saw some stars somewhere. Okay, but go ahead, call. I'm just trying to say something there. I saw some stars.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, the justification by the SLP pundits, it is just pathetic. It has no bearing. Shazzy can't even stand on one leg with the justification that he was trying to bring in. Because Shazzy, we have opened our eyes. We are not stupid people like you guys think. We saw your budget. We saw it. And I have to say his budget because he seemed to be the spokesperson for the SLP. He's always in something, coming and make some statements that are, to my knowledge, they're crazy statements. Just throwing things out there.
But I like him. He's
very
excited about his party, and I wish we had more persons, on the other side who loves, who have.
I'm glad you like him, but you're gonna grow a little bit sick of him sooner or later. Now that he started calling this program, I am saying that to you early enough.
Okay.
Because he can be a nightmare. He can become a pain. Because he'll come and say anything just to try and justify the nonsensical stuff that his party is doing. It's about the party. And Shazzy, it's not your party. The government is the government of St. Lucia. And this government should look after all of us like it's looking after you and their political pundits.
Yep.
This is the government of St. Lucia. This is not the government of the SLP. We are all St. Lucians, and we all need to be treated equally.
That's right.
So if you're getting your perks and you want to come and talk and sing for your supper, some of us are not getting the supper you're getting, and we're not going to sing your song because we know what we're experiencing on the ground.
Yep. Yeah, man. But I have my flush button open, my flush button close by. So once once he's getting out the line, we will use it accordingly. Wasco is not privatized, so we have enough government water.
I'm glad he knows that Wasco is not privatized and that Wasco should not be doing the things that they're doing to we St. Lucians.
Exactly.
And maybe it's because it's not privatized. That is why we have such a bad service from Wasco when we have people have no pipe-borne water in their homes.
Oh my
and they're getting water bills every month, Shazzy. Maybe you should tell your government, because it's government owned according to you, it's a corporation, right? And government controls Wasco. They get a piece of the pie from Wasco. Maybe you should tell your government to clean up Wasco, to clean it up, because they came to save the day. Clean up the crime around the country, clean up the high food prices, clean up the high fuel prices, clean up the roads, clean up the schools, clean up, Shazzy, clean up, and stop taking our monies, hard-earned money, and giving it to Red International Carnival Band and the rest of them to go jumping naked bodies on the street.
Wow.
And to go having jazz festival that does not bring us a cent when you deal with those international, and I'm sorry to be saying it about the international performers, but they come, they get paid a whole set of money, and we make no money back from jazz festival. It is not profitable. There's no profits made in jazz festival. So why do you increase? You increasing budgets for these kinds, for your fets, while St. Lucians, where you won $1,500. They could have given it to you all. Let's all ask him for our 1.5. It's time.
Wow.
Because he can put more monies in this and more monies in the fets and the this and the that. Let me tell you, if the government is putting monies into something substantial, I will support it. But you can't tell me you're taking taxpayers' money, borrowed money, because taxpayers paid back anyway, so taxpayers' money, and throwing it into garbage. And some things that we do not see profits from. All the carnival bands literally have their bars on the move, their food trucks on the move. Those vendors don't make any money from carnival, you know. Because people pay for packages. Revelers pay for packages, and call Shazzy and say I'm lying. Call and say I'm telling a lie. People pay for packages, so before you jump your carnival, you have your costume, you have your tickets for all the parties, you have your tickets for your food, you pay for your food, you pay for your drink, for your water on the road from your carnival band trucks. So you don't have time to stop and go and buy anything from any vendor on the roadside. What was that they charged vendors last year? How much money for a grill, for a cooler, for a this? You tax the vendors, and they haven't sold a thing? Since when? Since when? That is what you're doing, and you putting people first? No. SLP government, let me put it that way, because it's not a government for all the people. You guys are putting people worse. We are worse off under your government than we were under the last administration. Guys, we had some free reign under the Alan Shastner administration, the UWP government, and I'll put it the way they want me to put it. We had free reign. We could get up and go to a restaurant and say, boy, I'm taking my family out this Friday to dinner. I'm going to have a birthday party for my child, because we were saving monies from various places in our pockets. When the man said he was going to make us save money, they laughed. They laughed, but we had breaks. And I can remind St. Lucians of what we got, what we received factually from the UWP government. And now SLP, not innovative, cannot start a project. All the projects that are happening, well, from the UWP government, they're choosing to change the names just to continue doing it under an SLP banner. I mean, come on, man. Cabot was the worst thing. Cabot became the best thing. Our projects were the worst things. They became the best thing. Not even the infrastructure minister, Richard Frederick. Oh, he stopped all the housing projects. Why did you stop the housing projects? Why? You can't give an. You said because there wasn't any planning permission. That was a lie. There was planning permission for all the projects. And that was his excuse for stopping the projects, and all these people went home. You all stopped the roadworks. Why? Because somebody hates Guy Joseph so much, and Guy Joseph supposedly had shares in Fresh Start. So many other people were doing roadworks, not just Fresh Start. Nationwide, there were so many other people doing roadworks. This was just SLP came in for vengeance, and everything good that was started under the UWP administration, and that was already funded, they would not have continued that work, because I guess nobody could pass a buck under the table. There was no back pay for the ministers, and I'm saying it as it is. There was no back pay for the ministers. You're going to bring foreigners to do our roads. You're bringing Q80s. Why? When we have people in this country who can do our roads.
Yep. Wow.
And these was already set in stone. So much so that now you'll have to pay Fresh Start for not even completing the job.
Yep, and still find money to complete it.
That's why I told you how much money do we borrow to do the same project? Double whammy. Double whammy. We're borrowing money twice to the same projects because one government decides that, if they finish a project, they'll make the last government look good. Solutions, wake up. If there's no continuity in works that have started, this nation is doomed. It is doomed.
Yep.
We're going to find ourselves in more debt. How much money has the Philip J. Pierre government borrowed? How much money? The budget from last year, St. Lucians, did y'all see anything on the ground that happened from that money that was borrowed last year in the budget? If anybody has seen one thing that happened that was discussed in last year's budget, right? If you've seen one thing or two or three things that have happened that was discussed in last year's budget, call this show. Call it tomorrow and let us know.
I think it's time for them to stop focusing on Mr. Chasney and get to work, because we have Viewfort. We have a community to save.
Focus on him.
We have a community to save.
Let them focus. Brother Garfield, I'm loving it. Let them focus on him. I'll tell you why he's a household name right now. I tell you, ask any little child going to school, who's the Prime Minister of St. Lucia? They'll say, Alan Chasney.
You don't even hear much about Guy Joseph. They don't bother him anymore.
No. The volley, not a volley again, because they've won elections. So the volley has everything about the volley has been put aside. The same volley, the same man that they were waiting to pick up in the U.S., who has gone to the U.S. a million times over and back to St. Lucia and back to the U.S., who's living his life and carrying on with his business and stuff. That same person was so volley that up to now they cannot do anything to the volley.
Yeah, man.
And he was volley. But we have criminals, and I'm saying it, we have criminals sitting in our cabinet right now. And not a word. The same people who call them criminals sitting in the same cabinet with them right now. You hypocrites. You hypocrites. I mean, it's there for us to see.
Yes, call
it. We shut our eyes to it.
Yep. But nice.
We do hypocrites in St. Lucia. Let me let you go.
Yeah, I am not.
Tomorrow
I'm going to call early,
Oh no, tomorrow I'm going to call early. Tonight I was listening to...
I want you to take Shazzy's space.
This caller, And then I got my phone rang and I got an overseas call, so I did not hear the entire contribution, but I was already getting aggravated and I was going to call right after.
It was interesting that...
But I could not have done it.
It was kind of interesting that the Labour Party, because we tried to touch on Viewfort, that everybody wanted to call tonight from their side. And it shows that it's a hot button topic. And I mean, it's a discussion that we must have. We must have on the Viewfort situation. Those are real lives over there and families who are living in fear, but yet they have been voting in a representative.
And they have just started calling because every program that speaks the truth, they must call and try to twist and turn and lie to make themselves look good. Because truth can't be told, you know. Truth can't be told. They cannot listen to the truth. Unfortunately, the St. Lucia lying party.
Yep. Somebody said
on that note.
Yes.
Sorry?
So good night. So God's willing, I call you in the morning.
Yes, on that note, I say good night.
Good night, my friend.
All right.
Okay, friend.
Bye-bye.
So I just want to thank our caller and also thank all of you. By the way, I want to thank Anson, my opposite, for the 50 stars. It will help to fuel our electricity at the base, and to all those who have. And by the way, folks, you got to share the live and you got to follow, all right? Because it's going to get rocky as we get closer to our trip to St. Lucia. We will be covering the entire island. I had a call today with someone who is going to take me around to some of the locations, government buildings, a hospital in St. Jude. We will be traveling to a number of areas where we'll be talking to persons on the ground. We want to hear what people... We're going to give them a hot mic so that they can speak to us. They can share without any fear what is happening, you know, how they're feeling. So we'll be covering the island in the next few weeks. We look forward to meeting with many of you. Hold a minute. There's a call on the air. Quick call. Caller, you on the air? You're the last call.
Yes. I was listening to the last caller, and she made so many valid points. But at the same time, I was also saying, man, there's so many top projects the SLP did to the, like they didn't continue the projects Alan started.
Yeah.
But we could name a few.
Yeah.
But what other projects the SLP are doing? Like I was checking in my brain, like, okay, what they have running, what's going on?
Yeah.
I cannot find one. Can you tell me how many, can you give me two of them they are doing right now?
I honestly don't know, and that's why we're going to be going on the ground live with our portable system. We're going to be on the live trying to, you know, follow the breadcrumbs and see if there's any.
But we could go at least 5 projects they stopped from the Alan Chasney.
Yeah.
And that was a government that was doing nothing. According to them, they were destroying the country. But 2 years into their regime right now, and I still not yet heard of a project. Or what are they going to do for the country? Where are we heading? What are we doing? I was in St. Lucia for Christmas, and I was at Macy's, and I heard a guy say, is this toilet paper $95? And I looked, it's $95 for toilet paper. I'm like, what the hell? Oh my God. And for me, the prices are up and up and up. But what are they doing for the people? What are they doing? Can you help me, please?
I honestly don't know because all I get is complaint videos of persons at the supermarket with one bag of groceries for $800, 2 bags of groceries, $900. Light bill has gone up. The cell phone bills, they're going up. That's going up also. Water bill. People don't get water, but they get a bill. The roads are in a ridiculous state. People are losing vehicle parts every other day. It's just the fishermen are still complaining.
Okay. So if this, Mr. Allen is right, that the government raised $70 million, shouldn't that $70 million go to alleviate the burden of the people of St. Lucia?
That's what it should have gone to. Really, the truth is, we got to look at that budget, because I think the people of St. Lucia got a really bad hand in that budget report. If you made $70 million on the backs of poor, suffering, and dying people, and you did not see it fit to ease the pressure on them, I am saying we got to look at the budget. You know, people make a lot of noise and stuff, but we got to look at these things. The budget, we got to look at it.
The other thing I noticed too, their talk shows almost, they don't say anything. The trust, I don't say anything.
No.
All the people, all the things that was going on during Chasney when he was working hard, and you also had COVID and all these other things.
Nothing.
The pressure that was on that administration, and yet still they were performing. St. Lucia was nice. A man said on a radio program, he used to sell all his watermelon by 10 o'clock and make over $1,000. By 10 o'clock, he finished selling his watermelon, make over $1,000 during COVID.
Whoa.
By 10 o'clock. Now he's staying until 2 o'clock and he's not even making half of that. No COVID, nothing.
Wow.
And yet still nobody in the streets. Nobody quarreling. And the problem is Viewfort now. It seems people in Viewfort is okay with what Kenny did, because nobody is complaining about Kenny. Maybe, I have to say it straight up, maybe the people need it like that for what's going on there, because they're benefiting from what's going on.
I don't think they're benefiting right now.
Nobody complain. If you're not complaining about something, it's because you're okay.
Wow.
You like how it is.
It could be blind loyalty. Blind loyalty. He's the only one we know in Viewfort. I mean,
the proverb say a hungry man is a hungry man, so maybe they're not hungry. Maybe they have that trickle down effect from whatever that is benefiting Viewfort. The trickle water, trickling down.
Maybe this might bring the change that is needed in Viewfort right now.
But I feel anytime somebody is hungry, they're naturally angry.
Well, I normally get angry when I'm hungry. I got to find a restaurant somewhere to eat. I have to pull over. This will be my van. I have a family van, and there's an area in the van. I have food, all kind of food, dry biscuits, all kind of stuff, juice, water, everything on my vehicle, because I don't get angry on the road.
You understand?
You're right.
So it's just a natural. If the country is getting hungrier by the day.
Oh my God! Yeah.
So you have a lot of angry people.
Yep.
People, their frustration will be higher. Their tolerance will be less. And yet still they just blaming. You lose. You're on the other side. I know he lose. I'm not UWP, I'm not Labour, but
You're independent?
The plans Alan Chasney had for the country was benefiting my family and myself.
And you're not a Labour.
Right
you're not a UWP and you're not Labour.
I'm Lucian.
I like that.
But I would vote UWP straight up for the ideas Chasney had.
So we need more people like you.
Because it would benefit the country. I would vote Alan Chasney just on the universal insurance he wanted to put.
Yeah.
That alone.
Yeah, that's
I was sold.
Yeah,
that alone.
That's
don't
you're right.
Don't ask for the doc.
Yeah, that's right.
The duck in Viewfort, he wanted golden. You don't need to.
Yeah.
Just these two things alone. Well, not already too much. The duck was already too much.
Yes, caller. Yep.
Just the universal insurance was enough.
Yes.
Enough for me to vote for him.
Enough. Yep. So, caller.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
man, but I got to go, caller. Have a beautiful night.
Yeah, I rest my case.
Yes.
All right, you too.
You can continue your
All right,
case
bye-bye.
tomorrow night. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, caller. Appreciate you. Good
All right,
night.
have a good night.
Amen. And to
Good
all
night.
our listeners, God bless you. Have a beautiful night. We have spent a number of hours, I didn't realize that, on the platform. So blessings. See you tomorrow night. We'll continue, but we will only be there for 1 hour. Blessings, folks. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. Thanks for sharing. Thank you for being a part of Caribbean American News. To those who did not get through with the line, I do apologize. And to those who got cut off during the many calls, we apologize. We look forward to having you tomorrow. Blessings, folks. Enjoy.
Starting a new party. Up to now, Martin just can't say who is we. So much
Shakas around.
and you're bringing.
More donkeys in town.
I hear we launching a new party. Yet we can't say who is we. So much
Shakas around.
you're bringing.
More donkey in town.
It's holiday game. Badam, badam, badam. Banana. Banana, badam, badam. Banana. And now, well, I rarely get this call. Civil servants down here don't work no more. Work ethics so poor today. It's incorrect, but it's okay. I see some civil servants on duty exercising the heights of stupidity, like flexibility gone through the chute. 3 o'clock, no joke, they done stop work. So much charges around that you're bringing more donkeys
in town.
half DCSA, one production. The next half is total confusion. So much
Shakas around.
that you bring in.
More donkey in town.
But Oliver Lawrence is the man who made me laugh. He said they're bringing donkey to work as staff. So
So much Shakas